people have reposted you.
All right, Aishwarya, stay with me. I want to bring in as well my colleague Pulumi Saha. She covers the Bharatiya Janata Party very closely as well as government. But Pulumi, can we this evening, of course, after the oath-taking ceremony, when we do get the list who's made it as a cabinet rank, independent charge, MOS, can we expect any surprises today at all?
Well, Preeti, having covered Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his style of functioning over the last 10 years, we cannot put anything past him in terms of springing some surprises, rejigging ministries in a way that, it comes as a surprise for the minister as well, the minister-designate as well. He has been known to challenge people and out of their comfort zone as well, not giving them exactly, what was their comfort area. For instance, Hardeep Puri, he was a diplomat in his past life, but when, of course, he entered politics, he's been given, ministries like civil aviation, for instance. He's been given petroleum in the last instance as well, housing and urban affairs as well. And yes, he clearly, the Prime Minister has been impressed with his performance, which is why, of course, he has been retained in the new Council of Ministers as well. Obviously, he continues to be a prominent Sikh face for the Bharatiya Janata Party as well, the BJP, which wants to make inroads into BJP, which is why they've, introduced Ravneet Singh Bittu, who lost the election from Ludhiana. But again, a young Sikh face for the Bharatiya Janata Party from the state of Punjab finds a place in the Union Council of Ministers. And then, of course, it's not that every time he wants to shake you out of your domain expertise area. General V.K. Singh was another case of people would have thought he would get defense, but naturally, given that he was Chief of Army Staff in his past life, but he was given, again, MOS Civil Aviation, MOS Road Transport and Highways as well. But then S. Jaishankar, a diplomat who was given his area of domain expertise, which was, of course, the Ministry of External Affairs. It remains to be seen which is the portfolio he's given this time round, again, retained by the Prime Minister in his new Council of Ministers. So we cannot put it past Narendra Modi that he could spring a few surprises there.
All right, could spring a few surprises, but Pulumi, it has to be a very delicate balance because you also, for the first time, have to, accommodate in a big way where your allies are concerned. You need to accommodate states which are up for elections by the end of the year. And importantly, also now you need to accommodate caste representation. The sheer fact that the Dalits turned away from the BJP this election would be something that the BJP would be wanting to rectify in terms of representation.
Absolutely, absolutely. The BJP has done its best in trying to, maintain all of those balances because they're looking at the upcoming assembly elections in the states of Maharashtra, Haryana and Jharkhand again, where the BJP is not on a strong footing going into the assembly elections at this stage as we look at it. So clearly, they're looking at those upcoming assembly elections. They're looking to regain their lost ground in states where, of course, they've lost ground, like in the state of Uttar Pradesh, like in the state of Maharashtra, in Bengal as well, though they've cut down in terms of representation as far as the state of Bengal is concerned. Earlier you had 4 ministers, this time you have 2. One of them has been retained from the past, that is Shantanu Thakur, and the new introduction is Shukanta Mojumdar, who just won the seat of Balughat, in fact, from on a BJP ticket by the skin of his teeth. He is the West Bengal BJP chief. He is being brought into the Union Council of Ministers. So there is a lot of permutation and combination which has gone into the BJP, of course, arriving at this decision in terms of how they're going to ensure that they have maximum representation across caste and community lines, like I was speaking about the Sikh faces within the government now. And then, of course, in terms of, ensuring that their allies are accommodated well as well. Though, of course, they're not very happy. They would have wanted much more. I've spoken to my sources within a couple of those allies, and they were hoping for better representation. Jiten Ram Manji, it's not very clear what he's getting at the moment or at what rank, but he clearly looked very miffed about the announcement earlier this morning, which is why he went with his son immediately to Amit Shah's residence after the announcement, after that call came in, and he looked pretty miffed at that point of time. His body language was a giveaway. And then, of course, there are those I've spoken with who are saying that, they should have had better representation. Your demand is 5 to 6 cabinet berths and MOS is included. And then you end up getting, for instance, the TDP, 1 cabinet and 1 MOS. You're looking for more.
You were looking for more. Well, the likes of the NCP, there's no representation as of now, where Ajit Pawar is concerned. But we're going to come back. I, request Poulomi and Aishwarya to both of them stay with us as well as our guests. We're back with a quick short break. On the other side, the focus on again. It's historic, history in the making. Prime Minister would be taking oath for the 3rd time. This after, the same matching what Jawaharlal Nehru did in terms of the 3rd tenure, but where the allocation of ministries are concerned, a bonus oath-taking ceremony in terms of representation for their party, and of course, what's going on where the state of Maharashtra is concerned with the NCP, because NCP till now doesn't seem to have any representation as an ally where the oath-taking is concerned. Right after, viewers, the oath-taking is complete, then we will get a list in terms of who makes it as a cabinet rank minister, who gets independent charge, and who is being anointed as a MOS, Minister of State. We're going to get you all of that right here. All eyes peeled on the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Those images that you see were a short while ago where the Prime Minister was addressing his Council of Ministers at 7 Lok Kalyan Marg at his residence. Interesting to note whether there will be any big ticket changes. Professor Badri Narayan, are you looking at any big ticket changes taking place this time around, especially where the top 4 are concerned?
No, I don't see a lot of changes is going to take place in the first rank of the categories, first categories or 4 ministers which you have talked about. So I think there will be some reshuffle, maybe one here to there, but there will be not much change. And also, I feel that BJP will try to keep important ministry in its hand. And they will give also better participation to the allies to keep them happy. And the infrastructure ministry who deals with the infrastructure and on which the TDP has a focus, maybe they can give to them. But most of the important ministry which are going to set the developmental discourse and the discourse of politics, maybe BJP wants to retain itself in this phase. And with the ministry allocation, it will be clear how the direction of the government also, where government is going, what will be the agenda, because these ministers, all of them carries one of their speciality in implementing Modi's vision of development in this country. So that will set the future agenda of discourse of the development of the country. This selection of the ministers will, what I'm saying, that selection itself is going to tell what is going to be direction of the development of the country and the making of the country.
Raghav Avasthi, are you looking at any surprises at all? Because, this is also a moment, because despite of just getting in a 240, which is 32 short of majority for the Bharatiya Janata Party, this will be an important moment to, at least where optics are concerned, perception is concerned, to give out the message that they're willing to accommodate, but they're not willing to bargain.
I think as far as accommodation is concerned, even in 2014 and 2019, the NDA was a pre-poll alliance, and there were ministries that were allocated to allies. So I don't see much changing, and especially in view of the fact that as on date, with the support of independents and everything, the NDA has roughly the support of 300 MPs. So there is not going to be much room for arm twisting of the nature that we used to see in 2009 or for that matter 2004, where the government used to pull in different directions due to allies. Of course, allies will have to be accommodated, and if you look at parties like the TDP, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu has a vision for development that is not very different from the vision of development that Mr. Narendra Modi has. So if there are people from the TDP that are accommodated, then I think it would be good to have that more diverse brain trust. And as far as the JDU is concerned, again, the JDU and the BJP, despite some hiccups over the last few years, I mean, the JDU has been a durable ally of the BJP. So if some portfolios are shared with it, then as I said, it would not be such a bad thing. Perhaps like with all of this infusion of experience and diverse background, it might even lead to some decisions that are much better as far as national interest is concerned.
All right, just stay with us. What I'm going to do is, before we cut across to my colleague Aishwarya, and we'll also get Himanshu in just about a moment, we're going to tell our viewers in terms of how has the Modi cabinet been constituted state-wise, in terms of what is the state-wise representation. Let's look at the state of Gujarat there. From Gujarat, of course, there will be Amit Shah, who won from a margin of 7.5 lakh votes, C.R. Patil, Mansukh Mandavia are three members of the BJP who would be looking to represent the state of Gujarat. If you look at Punjab, and it is important because this, viewers, whichever way one might look at it, the BJP might not have got a single seat in Punjab, but in terms of vote share, this for the Bharatiya Janata Party is historic. And representing Punjab would be Ravneet Singh Bittu. Let's move on now to the state of Maharashtra. Nitin Gadkari, Raksha Khadse, Pratap Rao Jadhav, Piyush Goyal, Muralidhar Mohol, Ramdas Athavale will be the one, Ramdas Athavale from the RPI will be the one looking to represent the state of Maharashtra. It is important, Maharashtra is going to go to election later on in this year, and with the showing of the BJP and its allies in Maharashtra, there is a lot of ground that needs to be made up. If you look at Madhya Pradesh, 29 out of 29 to the Bharatiya Janata Party, represented in the cabinet by Shivraj Singh Chauhan, who won even with a bigger margin than Amit Shah, viewers, at 8.5 lakh votes. Shivraj Singh Chauhan, who had fancied himself to be the next chief minister after winning Madhya Pradesh, now will be inducted into the Prime Minister's cabinet. Jyotiraditya Scindia, who is the civil aviation minister, will also keep a portfolio. In all probability, would it be civil aviation itself remains to be seen. Savitri Thakur is the other big name that is coming in where representation is concerned from the state of Madhya Pradesh. Let's turn around now and look at Rajasthan. Gajendra Shekhawat, representing the constituency of Jodhpur, is the Jal Mantri, and he will also be inducted or re-inducted rather to Modi's cabinet. Arjun Ram Meghwal is the other name which is making the rounds. He won from the seat of Bikaner, where Rajasthan is concerned. Where Bihar, Jitin Ram Majhi from HAM is going to be inducted to the Modi cabinet. Nityanand Rai, Ramanath Thakur, Giriraj Singh and Chirag Paswan are the ones who will be making to the council of Modi's ministers. Jharkhand, Annapurna Devi and Chandra Prakash are the ones who would be making to the cabinet, where Uttar Pradesh is concerned. Uttar Pradesh has been, even if one can call a sort of a Waterloo for the Bharatiya Janata Party this election, even though the BJP has got 240, which is cumulative or a little more of what the entire India alliance has got together. But the sheer fact they haven't been able to get absolute majority. Uttar Pradesh was a state responsible. Representing the state of UP will be Rajnath Singh, the defense minister. Jitin Prasada will also be coming in, representing the constituency of Pilibhit. At his own residence at 7 Lok Kalyan Marg. Let's quickly dip into all political reactions coming in thick and fast.
भारत के जनता तीसरी बार आशीर्वाद देकर आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी को तीसरी बार प्रधानमंत्री बनना, भारतीय जनता पार्टी एनडीए के साथ मिलकर आज सत्ता चलाना हर कार्यकर्ता के लिए हमारा गौरव विषय है। मैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी कार्यकर्ता के नाते आज सारी 140 करोड़ जनता को धन्यवाद देता हूं और आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी की हृदय से हम कार्यकर्ताओं के तरफ से, तेलंगाना के जनता के तरफ से, आंध्र प्रदेश के जनता के तरफ से मैं हृदय से आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी को शुभकामनाएं देता हूं।
सबका सौभाग्य है। मैं मान के चलता हूं कि माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी की तीसरी बार की शपथ बाबा महाकाल का विशेष आशीर्वाद है और एक लोकतंत्र के लिए एक नया दिन की शुरुआत होगी, एक नया इतिहास बनेगा। मैं उनके तीसरे यशस्वी कार्यकाल की शुभकामना देता हूँ, बधाई देता हूँ।
All right, we're going to continue to get our viewers more, but like I said, all eyes right now at the Rashtrapati Bhavan. 7:15 is going to be the oath-taking ceremony. We have Polumi with us. We also have our guest, Professor Badri Narayan, columnist, political analyst, Raghav Avasthi, political analyst as well. Okay, news coming in right now. Chandrababu Naidu has arrived in the national capital. Well, the TDP is a component where the council of Modi's minister is concerned. Chandrababu Naidu, visuals of him arriving in the national capital, Naidu, to attend the Modi oath-taking ceremony. The TDP would have wanted a lot more in terms of representation, but mind you, if we hark back 3 days ago, you had Chandrababu Naidu who had said that this was unconditional support. Were there conditions set? Is there going to be more back-channel maneuvering? We'll only know, but right now you can see these visuals. Chandrababu Naidu is in the capital. I want to cut across right now to Poulomi. She's going to be joining us in just about a minute, but this news break coming in, Chandrababu Naidu arriving at the national capital. He will be attending the oath-taking ceremony. TDP set to get 2 berths in Modi 3.0, but the question is TDP happy with just 2 berths where Modi 3.0 is concerned, as well as JDU? Because earlier on you had Nitish Kumar, who once again had floated the idea of 2019, where he had said that as per the number of MPs, the representation in the Council of Ministers and a formula needs to be worked at in terms of the number of MPs converting into the cabinet ministers. 2019, it wasn't accepted, rejected by the Modi government, this time with less elbow room. Even now, the TDP just to get 2 berths in Modi 3.0. This is when the TDP is bringing the lion's share of MPs for its allies, 16 from the state of Andhra Pradesh. The TDP getting in 16 Lok Sabha MPs. Will they be happy with just 2 berths? Remains to be seen. The last we heard, Chandrababu Naidu or his son Nara Lokesh, both of them had stated unconditional support. Is it going to remain unconditional is the question in days to come, Professor Badri Narayan? All right, we'll cut across to Professor Badri Narayan. I don't think we have him right now, but Poulomi is with us. Poulomi, the question I just asked Professor Badri Narayan, 2 berths at the cost of bringing in 16 MPs, your one ally where the TDP comes into question, which has brought in maximum truck for the NDA. Will they be happy with just 2 berths? They might have said unconditional, but how unconditional is it going to be in the long run?
Well, Preeti, I've been speaking to my sources within the Telugu Desam party, and they're not entirely satisfied with, of course, 1 cabinet and 1 MOS at the moment. Like I said, the demand list was much bigger than that, not just in terms of the wish list for the ministries, the choice of ministries that they would like to be allocated, but also the number, at least 5 to 6 was what they were looking at in terms of including both cabinet and MOS. That was more like what they would have wanted, but they do hope that there will be some sort of an expansion as far as this cabinet is concerned, or some sort of a rejig. Expansion looks very unlikely because already, as you can see, we've been obviously trying to tally the numbers because official sources have not confirmed on the record, but the numbers have gone beyond 70, and you can only have about 81 ministers in the Union Council of Ministers. So there's very little room to have more than, have a massive expansion plan as far as this Union Council of Ministers is concerned. The Prime Minister is thinking, as it appears from the number that is being sworn in today, it appears that he's got his team in place, and he intends to function with this team for at least a couple of years before, of course, based on performance reviews, feedback that he gets from the ground, various other considerations that he has to take into account given assembly elections around the time, etc. He does a rejig of that cabinet. So that window, I personally, when I look at it, seems very small at the moment in terms of any sort of an expansion plan. So they're not very happy. The JDU, for instance, also wanted, their sense of calculation and mathematics.
Okay.
उन सबको हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं और शानदार काम वो करें, अगले 5 वर्षों में देश को आगे बढ़ाएं। जहां तक मोदी मंत्रिमंडल का और आज शपथ ग्रहण समारोह है, उसमें आज मन की बात से जुड़े हुए बहुत सारे लोग यहां पर हैं। यहां पर विकसित भारत अभियान को चलाने वाले सभी वो महानुभाव हैं। यहाँ पर नमो ऐप पर जुड़ने वाले वो महानुभाव हैं। बहुत सारे खिलाड़ी हैं जो इसमें भाग लेने आए हैं। ये सब लोग वो जिन्होंने अलग अलग क्षेत्रों में बहुत नाम कमाया है, अपना काम किया है, और इनकी पहचान दुनिया के सबसे लोकप्रिय नेता प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने अपने मन की बात में कभी उल्लेख किया, कभी विकसित भारत एम्बेसडर के रूप में। तो तो मुझे लगता है इनके लिए भी बहुत हर्ष का पल है कि ये लोग भी आज मोदी जी के मंत्रिमंडल के शपथ ग्रहण समारोह में जुड़े हैं। और मेरे लिए सौभाग्य है कि मेरे निवास स्थान पर आए हैं। हम यहाँ से शपथ ग्रहण समारोह में जाएंगे और वहाँ पर शामिल होंगे।
सर, जो मंत्रिमंडल बन रहा है बहुत कुछ का ध्यान रखा गया है, कुछ नए चेहरे भी देखने को मिलेंगे, क्या कहेंगे सर इस मंत्री?
सबको बहुत बधाई, क्योंकि मोदी जी की जो रफ्तार है काम करने की और जो शानदार काम 10 सालों में किया, अब 5 सालों में उससे आगे बढ़कर करना है। सबको ढेरों शुभकामनाएं।
सर, एक सवाल उठता है।
All right, I want to bring Polumi back into this conversation. Polumi, you know, we've gone through in detail for those who've made it to the list, and you can see those pictures on our television screen. For those who haven't, you know, one can explain Smriti Irani, she lost the election, but what explains somebody like an Anurag Thakur not finding mention in the Council of Ministers? Why drop Anurag Thakur?
Well, Preeti, that is the biggest buzz right now in Lutyens, Delhi. One could explain, like you said, Smriti Irani being dropped. She lost the election from Amethi. Though there are those who've lost elections, like Ravneet Bittu, who have been inducted into the Union Council of Ministers. So there's no hard and fast rule as to whether you've won or lost, and on the basis of it, decisions are being made. Smriti Irani, again, someone high profile who lost the election, hasn't made it to the Union Council of Ministers. Rajiv Chandrasekhar, again, a very prominent face, lost the election from Thiruvananthapuram, where the BJP obviously realized that they were fighting a tough contest. But yes, again, dropping him and not inducting him into the Union Council of Ministers. Anurag Thakur's non-inclusion has obviously confounded many. It is unclear at the moment as to why he has been dropped, whether there were concerns around his performance. He held 2 very key portfolios all by himself, which was information and broadcasting and sports itself. At a time we're looking at the Olympics and India's performance and wanting to up that.
You know, Polumi, stay with me. I'm going to come right back. It does seem JP Nadda is the BJP chief president is going to return as a Mantri in Modi's cabinet. Nadda set for Mantri stint from the Himachal quota. He was earlier health minister in the first Modi cabinet and then assumed the responsibility of the president of the BJP. His tenure with the BJP ends end of month. But Polumi, I want to bring you in. If JP Nadda comes in as a cabinet minister, earlier on speculation was that position could have been filled by Mr. Khattar. But it does seem even ML Khattar today is going to be taking oath as Modi's minister. What happens to the post of president then?
Well, it will have to be filled. Yes, that Mr. Nadda is likely to join the Union Council of Ministers. He's been a union minister in the past, very prominently held the health portfolio before Dr. Harshvardhan. So it's not a surprise that he's making a comeback. His position had been ratified up until, of course, the conclusion of the Lok Sabha elections by the BJP's internal mechanism. So yes, he has, his tenure ends by the end of this month. You spoke about Manohar Lal Khattar. There was also the name of Shivraj Singh Chauhan that did the rounds as well, whether he could be, made the next national president of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Now he's being inducted into the Union Council of Ministers as well. Could this pave the way for a comeback for Amit Shah as national president? A lot of speculation doing the rounds at the moment, but it's unclear because the names that have done the round in the past, let me just count that: Manohar Lal Khattar, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, Dharmendra Pradhan, Bhupendra Yadav, all are being inducted in the Union Council of Ministers.
Polumi, you bring up something which would, once again in the realm of speculation, is Amit Shah possibly maybe coming back? Of course, realm of speculation, coming back as party president. What happens to the home ministry then?
Well, there would be, there are many other senior leaders who are, of course, still part of the Bharatiya Janata Party and who are going to be inducted as part of this massive Union Council of Ministers. That the Prime Minister, there could be, the Prime Minister could trust someone with that responsibility. Could it be Rajnath Singh? We don't know. Again, it's all in the realm of speculation, Preeti, at the moment.
It's all in the realm of speculation. Polumi, I'm cutting you short. The reason I'm doing so is we urgently need to dip into a break. But Polumi and I are back on the other side of this quick him arriving in the national capital, Naidu, to attend the Modi oath-taking ceremony. The TDP would have wanted a lot more in terms of representation, but mind you, if we hark back 3 days ago, you had Chandrababu Naidu who had said that this was unconditional support. Were there conditions set? Is there going to be more back channel maneuvering. We'll only know, but right now you can see these visuals. Chandrababu Naidu is in the capital. I want to cut across right now to Polumi. She's going to be joining us in just about a minute. But this news break coming in, Chandrababu Naidu arriving at the national capital. He will be attending the oath-taking ceremony. TDP set to get 2 berths in Modi 3.0. But the question is TDP happy with just 2 berths where Modi 3.0 is concerned, as well as JDU? Because earlier on, you had Nitish Kumar, who once again had floated the idea of 2019, where he had said that as per the number of MPs, the representation in the Council of Ministers and a formula needs to be worked at in terms of the number of MPs converting into the cabinet ministers. 2019, it wasn't accepted, rejected by the Modi government, this time with less elbow room. Even now, the TDP just to get 2 berths in Modi 3.0. This is when the TDP is bringing the lion's share of MPs for its allies, 16 from the state of Andhra Pradesh. The TDP getting in 16 Lok Sabha MPs. Will they be happy with just 2 berths? Remains to be seen. The last we heard, Chandrababu Naidu or his son Nara Lokesh, both of them had stated unconditional support. Is it going to remain unconditional is the question in days to come, Professor Badri Narayan? All right, we'll cut across to Professor Badri Narayan. I don't think we have him right now, but Polumi is with us. Polumi, the question I just asked Professor Badri Narayan, 2 berths at the cost of bringing in 16 MPs, your one ally where the TDP comes into question, which has brought in maximum truck for the NDA. Will they be happy with just 2 berths? They might have said unconditional, but how unconditional is it going to be in the long run?
Well, Preeti, I've been speaking to my sources within the Telugu Desam party, and they're not entirely satisfied with, of course, 1 cabinet and 1 MOS at the moment. Like I said, the demand list was much bigger than that, not just in terms of the wish list for the ministries, the choice of ministries that they would like to be allocated, but also the number, at least 5 to 6 was what they were looking at in terms of including both cabinet and MOS. That was more like what they would have wanted, but they do hope that there will be some sort of an expansion as far as this cabinet is concerned, or some sort of a rejig. Expansion looks very unlikely because already, as you can see, we've been obviously trying to tally the numbers because official sources have not confirmed on the record, but the numbers have gone beyond 70, and you can only have about 81 ministers in the Union Council of Ministers. So there's very little room to have more than, have a massive expansion plan as far as this Union Council of Ministers is concerned. The Prime Minister is thinking, as it appears from the number that is being sworn in today, it appears that he's got his team in place, and he intends to function with this team for at least a couple of years before, of course, based on performance reviews, feedback that he gets from the ground, various other considerations that he has to take into account given assembly elections around the time, etc. He does a rejig of that cabinet. So that window, I personally, when I look at it, seems very small at the moment in terms of any sort of an expansion plan. So they're not very happy. The JDU, for instance, also wanted, their sense of calculation and mathematics.
Okay.
उन सबको हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं और शानदार काम वो करें, अगले 5 वर्षों में देश को आगे बढ़ाएं। जहां तक मोदी मंत्रिमंडल का और आज शपथ ग्रहण समारोह है, उसमें आज मन की बात से जुड़े हुए बहुत सारे लोग यहां पर हैं। यहां पर विकसित भारत अभियान को चलाने वाले सभी वो महानुभाव हैं। यहाँ पर नमो ऐप पर जुड़ने वाले वो महानुभाव हैं। बहुत सारे खिलाड़ी हैं जो इसमें भाग लेने आए हैं। ये सब लोग वो हैं जिन्होंने अलग अलग क्षेत्रों में बहुत नाम कमाया है, अपना काम किया है, और इनकी पहचान दुनिया के सबसे लोकप्रिय नेता प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने अपने मन की बात में कभी उल्लेख किया, कभी विकसित भारत एम्बेसडर के रूप में। तो मुझे लगता है इनके लिए भी बहुत हर्ष का पल है कि ये लोग भी आज मोदी जी के मंत्रिमंडल के शपथ ग्रहण समारोह में जुड़े हैं, और मेरे लिए सौभाग्य है कि मेरे निवास स्थान पर आए हैं। हम यहाँ से शपथ ग्रहण समारोह में जाएंगे और वहाँ पर शामिल होंगे।
सर, जो मंत्रिमंडल बन रहा है बहुत कुछ का ध्यान रखा।
All of that. Stay tuned.
Oath ceremony. India Today scoops नया कैबिनेट न्यूज ब्रेक्स. Who's in? Who's out? Modi 3.0, the NDA सरकार.
Very good evening. You're watching India Today. I'm Preeti Chaudhary. History in the making. Prime Minister today will take oath for the third time around with his Council of Ministers. 7:15, Rashtrapati Bhavan. The PM, Narendra Modi, has a date with history, or designate PM has a date with history. We're going to get you all of that first up, taking you through the headlines. Modi mantra for incoming mantris. Prime Minister asks team to implement 100-day plan. Stresses on fast-tracking pending projects. Modi's big focus on 2047 Viksit Bharat. BJP to retain top gun mantris. Shah, Rajnath, Gadkari, Jaishankar to be inducted in NDA Sarkar 3.0. BJP all set to keep Home, Defence, Finance and Foreign Affairs Ministry with itself. Rift in Ajit Pawar's NCP camp over ministerial berth. Praful Patel set to miss out on cabinet berth. NCP state chief Sunil Tatkare did not approve of his name. BJP asks NCP to iron out internal differences. Stage set for Grand Modi ceremony. Foreign leaders arrive in Delhi for Prime Minister's designate oath-taking. Modi cabinet ministers to take oath at 7:15 p.m. venue Rashtrapati Bhavan. Congress Chief Mallikarjun Kharge will attend Prime Minister Modi's swearing-in ceremony representing the opposition. Meanwhile, Mamata Banerjee declines invitation, citing lack of communication and disapproval. Top Naveen aide V.K. Pandian quits politics after BJD's poor show in Odisha. In an exclusive chat with India Today, Pandian reveals he was in BJD only to support Naveen Patnaik.
Co-presented by आपका जॉय भारत का जॉय जॉय ई-बाइक. Co-presented by
ग्रीन लैम लैमिनेट्स, कुछ मेरा कुछ तुम्हारा.
Driven by
JK टायर, देश का टायर. Powered by MP Birla Cement Perfect Plus, Concrete Special.
Co-powered by
Parul University, Vadodara, Gujarat. Co-powered by Panasonic AC for smart homes. Signature Finest Silver Elaichi, a premium product from Dilbar. सुप्रीम टोटल पाइपिंग सॉल्यूशंस, जीवन भर का साथ. अच्छी नींद पेप्स की गारंटी. पेप्स, द ड्रीम मेकर्स.
While Prime Minister-designate keeps his date with history at Rashtrapati Bhavan at 7:15 p.m., theatrics drama on the sidelines. Why I say that, viewers, the latest coming in, if you know, in those who were invited to have a conversation at the Prime Minister's residence this afternoon, those who will be taking oath, one of the allies was missing, and that was the ally NCP Ajit Pawar faction. It seems there's a lot of internal bickering, and the latest, the Deputy CM of Maharashtra, Devendra Fadnavis, has spoken after the NCP birth feud. He says cabinet birth for NCP later, not right now. What's playing internally is Sunil Tatkare versus Praful Patel over the birth. No NCP face in Modi 3.0 after internal party differences. What does it really mean for the NCP, which had a poor showing where the state of Maharashtra was concerned, managing to win just one Lok Sabha seat? Listen in to Devendra Fadnavis.
राज्यमंत्री स्वतंत्र प्रभार अशा प्रकारे ही जागा त्यांना देण्यात आली होती, परंतु त्यांचा आग्रह असा होता की आमच्याकडनं श्री प्रफुल्ल पटेल यांचं नाव फायनल आहे आणि ते आधी मंत्री राहिलेले आहेत, त्यामुळे त्यांना आम्हाला राज्यमंत्री स्वतंत्र प्रभार हे करता येणार नाही. मात्र आपल्याला देखील ही कल्पना आहे की जेव्हा अलायन्सचं युतीचं सरकार असतं त्यावेळी काही निकष तयार करावे लागतात, कारण अनेक पक्ष सोबत असतात. त्यामुळे एका पक्षाकरता तो निकष मोडता येत नाही. पण मला विश्वास आहे की भविष्यामध्ये जेव्हाही एक्सपान्शन होईल त्यावेळी निश्चितपणे त्यांचा विचार.
My colleague and our Mumbai Bureau Chief Sahil Joshi joins us for more. Sahil, what's really going on? Is it Tatkare versus Praful Patel, where the internal dynamics of the Ajit Pawar NCP faction are concerned? And if at all, that would mean 0 berths for the NCP Ajit Pawar faction, even though it's come up with only one Lok Sabha MP.
Well, more than it is Tatkare versus Praful Patel, it is more of ego battle between the Shiv Sena and the NCP, because the Shiv Sena, Shinde Shiv Sena, is getting a full cabinet berth in the first 3.0 cabinet expansion, whereas NCP, because they have won only one Lok Sabha seat, they have been asked to take oath on MOS portfolio, but which will be given as an independent charge. The BJP made it clear that they will not be able to accommodate more than MOS independent charge, because many of the parties who have got more number of seats have been inducted as one cabinet minister, including that of Chirag Paswan, who has got 5 seats. The NCP, the Shinde Shiv Sena has got 7 seats, and right now one cabinet minister is being inducted. So that will not be possible. So the NCP has, as per Devendra Fadnavis, has informed the BJP that it will not be proper on a part of the NCP also to step down one below by making Praful Patel MOS, who has been a cabinet minister before, and who has been part of the ministry in UPA 2 as well. UPA 1, he was a MOS independent charge. So that will not be proper. So better, later in the later stage, when Prime Minister Modi will go for a cabinet expansion, and if they can accommodate a cabinet berth for NCP, that would be better. So they are ready to wait, is what they are saying. What it looks like is that
yes,
the NCP is going to wait for the assembly elections. If their performance is better than that of Shinde, then obviously they will ask for the cabinet berth in Modi government. But looking at the scenario at this point of time, it's very clear that it's an ego tussle between the NCP Ajit Pawar versus Shinde Shiv Sena, because Pratap Rao Bhosle, who is being a minister now for the first time, will be inducted as a cabinet minister, whereas Praful Patel was told very clearly that either you accept the MOS independent charge, or right now, the BJP will not be able to give them the cabinet berth.
But Sahil, what's going on internally? Even though, with what you pointed out, that it's an ego tussle between the Shinde Sena and Ajit Pawar's NCP, what's happening inside where Tatkare versus Praful Patel battle is going on? So are they battles, but the larger war is an ego tussle?
Well, largely some of the party members did feel that if the MOS independent charge has been given, Sunil Tatkare can be accommodated, and that's why. Because he has never been a minister in union cabinet. He has been a member of parliament since 2019, and he has got re-elected himself to the parliament. So why not Sunil Tatkare? But it looks like that Praful Patel prevailed, because he's been the tele face of the NCP Ajit Pawar till now, and that's why they decided to stay back, because the BJP is not ready to accommodate more than MOS independent charge. They were not ready to upbeat their offer to make them the cabinet minister. So from the Maharashtra's perspective, it would have been really one step down for NCP Ajit Pawar, who have got equal number of MLAs with him and are now part of the Mahayuti government. Shinde is also have got 40 MLAs. He has also got around 40 MLAs. The Shinde has got support of 10 independent MLAs as well. But because the performance of NCP was not up to the mark, the way Shinde managed to win 7 seats, Ajit Pawar could not. And that's the reason why, if the portfolio is, the cabinet position has been taken away from the NCP, which is not going down well with the NCP as a party as a whole, because they think that as symbolically they will be looked upon as somebody junior partner in Maharashtra. So better if there is a cabinet berth they will wait for the cabinet. But rather than being part of the Modi 3.0 as a MOS.
But Sahil, one quick question before we let you go. You know, while on a national scale, we are looking at the dust maybe finally settling now, far from it, but settling. In Maharashtra, the dust is only being kicked up. It begins from now. You have a BMC election, you have a state election, word coming in that MLAs from the Shinde camp now back in touch with Uddhav Thackeray, and similarly where the Ajit faction is concerned, back in touch with the Sharad Pawar faction.
Well, now this churn will begin. I don't think that MLAs will immediately turn over to the other camps, but they will look at their own constituency profiles at this point of time. The leads which the Mahayuti or the Mahavikas Aghadi have got during Lok Sabha elections, that will also be considered. The local situations will be considered, and of course, there will be a incoming towards the Mahavikas Aghadi in coming days, especially before the assembly elections are announced, or maybe even after the assembly elections are announced, the way it had happened during the Lok Sabha elections. So the ground situations will rapidly keep changing, and this churning will go on for next couple of months. And that's how, because right now the power shift has gone towards the Mahavikas Aghadi because the victory they have received. They are almost leading in almost 150 assembly segments, and so looking at that, there will be some changes towards Mahavikas Aghadi from Bharat.
All right, some changes where the Mahavikas Aghadi is concerned, the internal party dynamics from the macro to the micro picture where a state election is up on the anvil by end of year. Thank you, Sahil, for joining us, cutting across to Aishwarya Paliwal, who's also getting us more. Aishwarya, what more can you add? It does seem that the NCP, Ajit Pawar faction not finding a place, be it an MOS or a cabinet berth, not so much with what's going on within the party and the BJP, more to do with an ego tussle with the Eknath Shinde, its own ally in Maharashtra.
Well, definitely, you know, Preeti, they were expecting that they would do much better in the state of Maharashtra, but that did not come out. Now, all eyes will be on the very crucial state elections because, you know, we are hearing a lot of murmurs coming in from the state. We did see how the Deputy Chief Minister, Devendra Fadnavis, immediately said that he would want to resign, and he took the responsibility for a sort of debacle that happened in the state of Maharashtra. Amit Shah, in fact, spoke with him and also told him that he needs to calm down, and also rejected the offer of Devendra Fadnavis that he wanted to resign. But apart from that, we are also seeing how at the moment the focus now is to make sure that everyone comes on the same page and everyone then moves towards winning all the upcoming elections, because that now, Preeti, becomes very important for the BJP given the number that they have got. Let me just tell you, Preeti, the place where I am standing at the moment, the special invitation has also been sent to a lot of people. These are the labhartis. आप सब labharti हैं, आप लोगों को ये न्योता दिया गया है. आप लोग दिल्ली में ही रहने वाले हैं?
दिल्ली में ही जी, कृष्णानगर लाल क्वार्टर।
कृष्णानगर। तो जब कॉल आया कि आपको न्योता दिया जाएगा तो आप लोगों को कैसा लगा?
वो खुशी बयान नहीं कर सकते कि आज देश का प्रधानमंत्री तीसरी बार शपथ लेने जा रहे हैं, और हम जैसे रेहड़ी पटरी वालों को उन्होंने याद किया अपना परिवार समझ के।
कितने लोग आप में से कितने लोग हैं आप लोग?
हमारे वहाँ से 5 लोग आए हैं लाल क्वार्टर कृष्णानगर से, जो लाभार्थी हैं। जो लाभार्थी।
और ये आप लोगों का इन्विटेशन है? और कितने बजे तक आप लोगों को राष्ट्रपति भवन पहुंचना है?
6 बजे तक हमें पहुंच जाना है।
6 बजे तक पहुंच जाना
है।
Preeti, these are the people who are actually the labhartis, and they have been invited, given these very special invitation cards. 5 of them have come from a specific place in Delhi. A total of 50 such people, those who have actually got the benefit of the government schemes, all of them have also been invited. So the focus is very clear that we want to make sure everyone is together and we all march forward, because the upcoming election, the state elections, very crucial, Preeti, for the Bharatiya Janata Party.
All right, Aishwarya, we're going to come back to you. My colleague Aishwarya joining us, speaking to the Labharti Varg constituency, which was nurtured and created by the Prime Minister and the BJP. This time around, a bit of that work did pull away from the Bharatiya Janata Party vote, but that's for later. Let's now get you the full frame there. The ramparts of the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Nothing can be more stunning than these images that we are beaming live right now, viewers. Of course, the security check, understandably, it's the entire political truck of India which will be in attendance at the Rashtrapati Bhavan there. We're going to continue to get you more. I want to quickly introduce our guests. I have T.S. Sudhir, political analyst, Rashid Kidwai, author and political analyst, Rahul Verma, fellow Center for Policy Research, all of them joining us. T.S., Sudhir, to begin with you, you had Chandrababu Naidu who came in just a short while ago. Till 2 days ago when we spoke with him, we spoke to his son, the refrain was unconditional support. But with just 2 berths where maybe a cabinet and an MOS. Will Chandrababu Naidu be happy? Will there be conditions which will now come into this unconditional support over the long run?
Well, Preeti, I think the understanding is that at a later date, when there is some kind of an expansion, the Telugu Desam would be given a couple of more berths. At least that's what the understanding is here in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Now, I think the Telugu Desam at this point in time does not really want to hanker after too many ministries. They are much more keen on a handsome financial package that could be handed over to Andhra Pradesh, because they believe that's what is, that's what would keep the people of Andhra Pradesh more happy, because there's a lot of reconstruction activity, as it were, which has to be carried on in Andhra Pradesh in terms of improving the financial position of the exchequer, building the capital city in Amravati. Then there are a whole lot of SOPs which have been announced by the NDA during their election campaign, which they call the Super 6 guarantees, which would essentially continue the entire dole-centric governance model which was done by the previous Jagannath Reddy government. So they want to
interrupting you, apologies. Listen in to Praful Patel fancying his chances as one of Modi's ministers. Listen in.
स्पष्ट सांगितलं की हे घ्या नाहीतर काहीच नको घ्या असं अजिबात ते काही बोलले नाही. त्यामुळे आम्ही पण थोडा त्यांच्या शब्दावर जे काही त्यांनी आम्हाला भरोसा दिला आहे आम्ही थोडे दिवस धीर ठेवू आणि नक्कीच आज एक ज्यांना अलायन्स म्हणतात एकमेकांची सगळ्यांना गरज आहे. उद्या महाराष्ट्राची निवडणूक आहे, त्या निवडणुकीतला आम्हाला सगळ्यांना एकत्र सामोरं जायचं आहे आणि नक्कीच आम्हाला खात्री आहे की काही ना काही योग्य निर्णय लवकरात लवकर त्यांच्याकडून घेण्यात येईल. अच्छा, अभी एक मिनट हिंदी भी बोलता हूँ, इंग्लिश भी बोलता हूँ. हाँ बोलिए, आपका प्रश्न पूछिए. तो मग यस 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 लैंग्वेजेस एट वन टाइम ना.
पहले कोई अटकलें लगाई गई, देवेंद्र फडणवीस ने कहा कि हमने राज्य मंत्री का.
देखिए बात सही है कि हमको राज्य मंत्री स्वतंत्र प्रभार के बारे में सूचना मिली, लेकिन मैं स्वयं भारत सरकार का कैबिनेट मंत्री पहले रह चुका हूं और इसलिए हमने उनको यही कहा कि भाई देखिए, ये आपने जो ऑफ़र दी है हमें खुशी है कि आपने हमको एक सूचना भेजी, लेकिन मेरे लिए थोड़ा ये कठिन है कि हम ये पोस्ट को हम पूर्वी में मैं कैबिनेट मंत्री रहे कारण मैं नहीं स्वीकार कर सकता. इसमें कोई ऐसा मतभेद नहीं है, कोई मतलब जो भी कोई अटकलें लगाई जा रही ऐसी कोई भी बात नहीं है. सब कुशल है, सब ठीक है और हमको ये भी कहा गया है कि कुछ दिनों की आप राह देखिए, हम इसको दुरुस्त करेंगे. लेकिन आज के आज हमारे लिए भी ये संभव इसलिए नहीं है कि और पार्टीज़ के लिए भी हमने जो बात की है, निकष लगाए हैं, इंक्लूडिंग महाराष्ट्र में शिवसेना जो है जिनके साथ एमपी चुनकर आए हैं, उनके साथ भी जो हम लोगों ने निकष लगाए उसके हिसाब से आप प्लीज़ आज के आज इसको इंसिस्ट मत करिए और कोई हमारे पक्ष में मतभेद नहीं. ओ आता हे विज्युअल घ्या तुम्ही. बोला नहीं यार, अच्छा चलो आप आ जाओ, इंग्लिश वाले चलो, आपका भी हो गया.
It's a very good sign, you know.
Till there he was fancying his chances, but clearly, like we've been reporting, he, listen it.
Senior leader, and when he's standing here, you can be rest assured that both of us, our parties are working hand in hand as we are here.
Okay, now
only point here is there is some little bit of a misunderstanding created because yesterday night we got an information that our party will get a MOS independent charge. That position, which Devendra ji today also clarified before all of you, that it is in line with what was being offered to our other alliance partners also. The only difference is, myself having been a cabinet minister in the union government before, I did have a reservation to accept a MOS independent charge as it would be for me personally coming down or demotion. So so we have informed the Bharatiya Janata Party leadership and they have already told us that just wait for a few days, we will make remedial measures. Now if that is the line they have taken, it does not mean that we should say all this immediately, that there is some problem or there is some reason why. Devendra ji himself has clarified this.
But I want to understand one thing from you, sir. Had you got this position, Maharashtra would have benefited, sir. Maharashtra would have benefited.
दुसऱ्यांदा शपथ घेतात आणि ट्रेलर होतो तो आता पूर्ण सिनेमात बदल होईल आणि महाराष्ट्रात महायुती शिवसेना राष्ट्रवादी काँग्रेस आणि भाजप जोरदार एकाच हातात हात घेऊन आघाडी मारेल.
My friend, few days don't change anything. I have made it very clear that I have been a cabinet minister in the union government. I have been an MOS independent judge many years ago, after which I already became a cabinet minister, and a few days will not change anything.
There was also speculation that there was a rift between you and
there is no rift. Chalo.
This is a bizarre explanation given by Praful Patel, where he says that the party did not take an MOS rank position or berth because personally this was a step down for him. It's as bizarre as it gets, viewers. A party today, and this is, I guess, the beauty of coalition politics, it's all coming together. Praful Patel speaking to India Today and the press and trying to, stem the controversy, but only leading to more speculation, where he says, late last night we were offered the MOS berth. I have already been a cabinet rank minister, and it would have been a step down taking an MOS berth. So we've been assured in days to come we will be accommodated. So the party in itself, which is the Ajit Pawar NCP faction, actually turned down a ministerial post because Praful Patel thought that this was a step down for him. And mind you, this is a party that has been able to get only one Lok Sabha seat where the state of Maharashtra is concerned. Joining me right now is Polomi. Polomi, it's a little bizarre in terms of explanations, but I guess this is what's up in the offing. This is going to be coalition politics in days to come. He says the BJP will rectify and there will be a remedy in days to come. The TDP also hoping that they will rectify in days to come and give them more cabinet berths.
Absolutely. These are the compulsions of running a coalition. And, at the end of the day, everyone has their own ambitions. Everyone realizes that, you need them in order to remain in government. And they will, of course, flex their muscles. I'm not at all surprised by the statement that Mr. Praful Patel has given. No surprises there that he was offered, that the NCP Ajit Pawar faction was offered an MOS.
Polomi, go ahead.
That's right. If you can, the fact of the matter is that they contested on their sought number of seats, but they were able to win only one seat. They lost a prestigious battle in Baramati as well. So only one member of parliament. On the basis of that, it wasn't likely that they were going to get anything more other than an MOS position. But of course, they are very senior leaders on their side. They have someone like Sunil Tatkare or Praful Patel, both who Sunil Tatkare, who's been a senior minister within the NCP government, the United NCP earlier. He has been a minister, very senior as far as the ranking within the NCP is concerned. Praful Patel again has been a cabinet minister in the past.
Okay, I'm going to come in, Polomi. I'm coming in. Ajit Pawar speaking to the press. Listen in.
उनके ऊपर सौंपी है, उनका लेटर अभी आप सबके सामने हमने दिया है. मैं उनका अभिनंदन करता हूं और आगे के काम के लिए भी उनको शुभकामनाएं देता हूं. आज हम सब दिल्ली आने का कारण ये है कि आपको पता है तीसरी दफ़ा देश के प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी साहब, उनका उच्च सेरेमनी है. एनडीए का राष्ट्रवादी कांग्रेस पार्टी एक घटक है. जब लोकसभा की चुनाव हुए, वो चुनाव होने के बाद 2-3 दफ़ा एनडीए की मीटिंग हुई. शुरू में जो मीटिंग हुई उसमें मैं आ नहीं सका, मैं बम्बई में था, लेकिन हमारे पार्टी की तरफ से प्रफुल्ल भाई को
All right, theatrics and drama taking place where the NCP Ajit Pawar faction is concerned. I want to bring in our news director Rahul Kanwal, who is joining us right now from the ramparts of the Rashtrapati Bhavan, where the Prime Minister-designate Narendra Modi is going to keep his date with not just destiny but also history. But Rahul, it's interesting because the kind of surround sound to it all. You have a Praful Patel who comes out and says that, listen, I don't want the position of an MOS, so therefore it's beneath me, and that's why the party has refused that position. You know, this is what coalition politics is, and this is what the BJP and Prime Minister Modi will have to deal with in days to come.
Preeti, we're reporting live currently from the forecourt of the Rashtrapati Bhavan, and behind me is where the swearing-in ceremony of the Modi 3.0 government will take place. I'll just move away from the frame and give you a quick sense of the preparations. Dignitaries from different parts of the country have started coming in and taking their positions here. There is a sense of determination that I pick up from the senior BJP leaders. We had an opportunity to have brief chats with on the way in. They're saying, okay, so we've understood what the mandate is, and we will go out of our way, do what we can to try and ensure that even with the reduced mandate, Prime Minister Modi and this BJP government is able to deliver as well as possible. They're saying, yes, this isn't the verdict that we were expecting, but make no mistake of the fact that it doesn't take away from our determination to push forward on the kind of agenda that the Prime Minister has prepared. Remember, for many months now, BJP has been working with government officials to try and work out a 125-day agenda. The first 100 days, a general 100 days and 25 days specifically for the youth. So the fact that they needed time specifically for the youth is something the BJP was very cognizant of. And that's something that they're saying they intend to roll out. So let me just show you here all the preparations that are taking place. I'll just move my camera around and give you a sense of the preparations. The back bench is currently all taken up. The front rows are concerned. We're still waiting for all the VIPs to come in. It will be interesting to see who comes in and who doesn't, because is there going to be a slight reduction in attendance because of the reduced mandate or not? A lot of people here to also make a point that the support that the Modi 2.0 government has is something that continues. So different invitations have been extended across the society spectrum for people to come and join in. And remember, if you look at the Prime Minister's track record from the past, here's a Prime Minister who prefers continuity. He was Chief Minister of Gujarat. He's not used to making quick and jerky changes. He likes continuity. I've asked him this question earlier in the past. He says, to know about the future, look at the past, look at my track record. This is the conversation that we've had with him. He says, I'm not saying anything specific about these portfolios because we don't know how they'll be allocated. But typically in the past, from his time as Chief Minister, he prefers continuity. So unless there's some massive exigency which requires a change, he prefers continuity over change. He says, I've invested in you, developed an asset, given you an opportunity to learn about your field of work. Why would I want to change it so quickly? That's generally been his approach so far, Preeti.
Well, the Prime Minister would be taking oath for the 7th time, viewers. 3rd time today, and that's history in the making as the Prime Minister of the country, 4 times earlier as the Gujarat Chief Minister. I want to go back to our news director. Rahul Kanwal continues to be with us from the stunning Rashtrapati Bhavan, all bedecked to swear in its next Council of Ministers under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi. Rahul Kanwal continues to be with us. Rahul, in midst of all of this, no big surprises is what you're saying. But all right, we'll cut across to Rahul in a short while, and we'll also go back, to Ajit Pawar and what exactly he has to say on the entire controversy that in fact is playing out. But let's connect to our guests. We have T.S. Sudhir, political analyst, Rashid Kidwai, author, political analyst, Rahul Verma, fellow, Center for Policy Research. Rashid Kidwai, it's interesting because from the India Alliance, we only have representation with Mr. Kharge, who's chosen to attend. The likes of Mamata Banerjee have outrightly rejected. In what you've always said, was a celebration of democracy. It's a little counterproductive. Would you not reckon that at least, today one should have had the leaders of the India Alliance there and celebrate the moment? Maybe, you don't want to celebrate Prime Minister taking oath, but this is ultimately a moment for democracy.
So, Preeti, there is
trust deficit between the ruling coalition and opposition, which is, as you rightly say, it's a bit unfortunate. But however, both sides we have partly to be blamed. We had very acrimonious election. I think Mr. Kharge has shown a sort of courage of conviction by going there, though he's a Congress president, but he's going there as a leader of opposition, representing the entire opposition. So it's all right for the beginning. But what is happening at Rashtrapati Bhavan and within, the NDA Parivar is also very interesting. This is a trailer of shape of things to come. This whole Praful Patel saga. After all, Preeti, it is Prime Minister who has that powers or the mandate to hire and fire. Who are these people? Ajit Pawar, Devendra Fadnavis, and all kind of people, having a say in who should be a minister and who should not be a minister. I think, and the fact that the TDP and NCP are saying that Ajit Pawar group is saying that there will be, expansion 2 days later or so. What kind of musical chair we are going to see? This is, as Rahul Kamal was pointing out, the BJP is trying to make it as a very determined bid to project everything is normal, what, Modi 2.0 to Modi 2.30, but things are getting out of hand. And, people would be asking, who's the boss, who's in charge? And this is the kind of beauty of coalition politics. They'll say, ye to abhi jhanki hai, abhi trailer baki, pura film picture baki hai. And what about portfolios? I mean, I hope I'm proved wrong, but my apprehension is they will be clamor for portfolios and there will be some kind of tussle on that count.
But right now, that doesn't seem to be Rashid Kidwai, because at least where optics and perception is concerned, it does seem, the Prime Minister and at least the BJP has been able to get its way. The likes of TDP just getting in with one MOS and one cabinet berth, just two there for the JDU as well. So at least for now, whatever might be happening on the back, stage or promises for later, optics-wise, it seems that the BJP has got its way where the cabinet berths are concerned. I want to bring in Rahul Verma as well. Rahul Verma, it's interesting because, this time around, the BJP might have got its way in terms of its cabinet berths, where the allies are concerned. They might be promised, will accommodate later. God alone knows when a cabinet reshuffle would actually take place and how, everyone will be accommodated, even the likes of the NCP, Ajit Pawar faction. But the question is, Rahul Verma, keeping in mind the results, the BJP and Prime Minister-designate. All right, we're going to come right back. Let's get in the latest that's coming in.
के अलग-अलग हिस्सों से यहाँ पे आने शुरू हो गए हैं। कई सारे भाजपा के नेता यहाँ पे आ चुके हैं और जब इनसे बातचीत हुई नतीजों के बारे में और ये पूछा गया कि नतीजे तो आपकी उम्मीद से थोड़े कम है, तो उन्होंने कहा कि देखिए नतीजे थोड़े कम हैं, लेकिन हमारा जो संकल्प है वो कम नहीं हुआ। उनका कहना है कि प्रधानमंत्री ने जो पिछले 100 दिन का, पिछले महीनों में 100 दिन का एजेंडा तैयार किया, उस पर वो आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं पूरी रफ्तार से। वो कह रहे हैं कि हम ये दिखाना चाहते हैं कि कोलिशन की सरकार हुई तब भी इस रफ्तार से मोदी 1.0 और 2.0 में काम चल रहा था। उनकी कोशिश ये है कि उसी रफ्तार से आगे चलकर भी काम चलता रहे। वो कहते हैं कि हम नहीं, इसी तरीके से हमारी जो स्पीड है, जो एनर्जी है, उसमें कटौती नहीं होने देंगे। इस तरह का मैसेज वो कम्युनिकेट करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। साथ में कई सारे उद्योगपतियों को यहाँ बुलाया गया है, समाज के अलग अलग वर्गों से लोगों को यहाँ बुलाया गया है। एक बार फिर से थोड़ा दिखाने की कोशिश करता हूँ कि क्या तैयारियां इस वक्त राष्ट्रपति भवन में चल रही। मुझे याद है कई साल पहले, करीब 2012 में मेरी उस वक्त गुजरात के मुख्यमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी से बातचीत हुई थी कैबिनेट फॉर्मेशन को लेकर। मैंने पूछा था कि जब आप कैबिनेट बनाते हैं तो आप किस चीज को ख्याल में रखते हैं। उन्होंने कहा कि देखिए, मैं बेवजह बेफिजूल के चेंजेस नहीं करना पसंद करता हूँ, मुझे कंटिन्यूटी पसंद है। तो उन्होंने ये नहीं इंडिकेट किया कि इस दफा क्या होगा, लेकिन जब पहले पूछा गया था, उनका जो ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड है ज्यादातर वो कंटिन्यूटी को पसंद करते हैं कि यार बेवजह किए फेरबदल ना हो, तो चल रहा है उसी तरीके से चलता है। इस तरह का वो मैसेज दे रहे हैं।
All right, I want to cut across back to Rahul Verma. Rahul Verma, the question that I was asking you this time around, especially where the results are concerned, Prime Minister-designate would, or at least the BJP will have to accommodate, states which are up for elections, which possibly were the Achilles heel for the BJP not getting the 272 or crossing the halfway mark. States like Maharashtra, states like Haryana, important representation to communities which seem to have pulled away from the BJP, like the Dalits.
That is true. See,
cabinet allocation is always a difficult task because you have to manage, even if it was a single party majority, you have to manage all kinds of caste community interests, the regional interests. You want to have different kinds of representation. The task has become harder since it's a coalition government. And as you rightly pointed out, there are 3 states that are going for polls, perhaps in a couple of months. Now, we need to remember 2 things. First, yes, between 2014 and 2024, India had a majority government. But we also need to remember before that, we had coalitional governments. And both BJP as well as Congress have shown us that they can run stable coalition governments from 99 to 2004 for BJP and from 2004 to 14 for Congress. So while the task of managing the coalition would lie on the principal anchor player of that coalition, other parties that are part of it, they will also do some give and take. It can't be only just take. They will also have to, walk a couple of miles to be part of that coalition. Second, I think who do you include and who you don't? Inclusion is not just a way of giving message. Exclusion is also a way of telling certain things, right? And so at least whether NCP will be involved at a level footing or not in this cabinet is also giving a signal that there was some performance expected from you and we didn't get it. So if, there is reward, then you also have the second side of basically not allocating important berths to parties or candidates who haven't performed.
Well, you are right there, Rahul. We're going to continue to get our viewers more. Let's look at those images coming in. That's the Rashtrapati Bhavan. And like we pointed out, the Prime Minister's date with destiny, history, whatever you might call it, designate. Prime Minister Narendra Modi would be taking oath with his Council of Ministers at 7:15 p.m. Right after that, there will be a press note where at least we'll have an understanding, viewers, of how many cabinet ministers, how many ministers with independent charge, how many ministers where MOS, Minister of State, is concerned. All of that will be coming in later. But speculations now clearly on in terms of where the internal dynamics of the BJP is concerned. We have news break right now coming in. Now, Ajit Pawar has spoken after the NCP berth feud. NCP firm on cabinet berth turns down MOS offer. Willing to wait for cabinet post. Maharashtra's birth pangs for NDA amid swearing in. It's very interesting what's going on in Maharashtra. What seemed by Praful Patel was that we've been told we will be accommodated very soon. Now, muscle flexing by Ajit Pawar, though there isn't really much muscle when you have only one Lok Sabha seat in your kitty. But listen in to Ajit Pawar.
आमची भूमिका मांडू. उद्याच्या काळामध्ये पक्षाची वाटचाल कशी राहणार आहे त्या पद्धतीची संपूर्ण सगळ्या गोष्ट तिथं समजावून सांगू. त्याच्यामध्ये शिवशाहू फुले आंबेडकरांची विचारधारा.
All right, so basically we're going to try and get that translated. But let's, so what Ajit Pawar has said is that he's not going to stick for an MOS post, but only for a cabinet rank, and he's willing to wait for it, but will not accept an MOS rank. With what, of course, our sources are telling us, as much as this is between the BJP and the Ajit Pawar faction of NCP, it's also where the NCP, Ajit Pawar, is concerned versus Eknath Shinde, Shiv Sena. It's an ego battle there because Eknath Shinde has been able, to get for itself one cabinet minister's berth, but in that sense, Eknath Shinde has also gotten a lot more MPs on board for the Bharatiya Janata Party and the NDA. Listen in to other political reactions. Reactions.
पूरे देश को पता है प्रफुल्ल पटेल साहब, उन्होंने कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर के नाते बहुत दफ़ा सेंट्रल में काम किया है और कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर होते हुए फिर इंडिपेंडेंट चार्ज लेना हमें ठीक नहीं लगा, इसीलिए हमने बताया कि हम रुकने के लिए कुछ दिन के लिए तैयार है, लेकिन हमें कैबिनेट मिनिस्टरशिप चाहिए। तो ये सुनने के बाद वो बोले ठीक है, और फिर उन्होंने जो ऑफर की थी इंडिपेंडेंट चार्ज की, वो हमने नकार दी।
बात सही है कि हमको राज्य मंत्री स्वतंत्र प्रभार के बारे में सूचना मिली, लेकिन मैं स्वयं भारत सरकार का कैबिनेट मंत्री पहले रह चुका हूं, और इसलिए हमने उनको यही कहा कि भाई देखिए, ये आपने जो ऑफर दी है, हमें खुशी है कि आपने हमको एक सूचना भेजी, लेकिन मेरे लिए थोड़ा ये कठिन है कि हम ये पोस्ट को हम पूर्वी में मैं कैबिनेट मंत्री रहे कारण मैं नहीं स्वीकार कर सकता। इसमें कोई ऐसा मतभेद नहीं है, कोई मतलब जो भी कोई अटकलें लगाई जा रही, ऐसी कोई भी बात नहीं है। सब कुशल है, सब ठीक है।
राज्य मंत्री स्वतंत्र प्रभार अशा प्रकारे ही जागा त्यांना देण्यात आली होती, परंतु त्यांचा आग्रह असा होता की आमच्याकडनं श्री प्रफुल्ल पटेल यांचं नाव फायनल आहे आणि ते आधी मंत्री राहिलेले आहेत, त्यामुळे त्यांना आम्हाला राज्यमंत्री स्वतंत्र प्रभार हे करता येणार नाही। मात्र आपल्याला देखील ही कल्पना आहे की जेव्हा अलायन्सचं युतीचं सरकार असतं त्यावेळी काही निकष तयार करावे लागतात, कारण अनेक पक्ष सोबत असतात, त्यामुळे एका पक्षाकरता तो निकष मोडता येत नाही। पण मला विश्वास आहे की भविष्यामध्ये जेव्हाही एक्सपान्शन होईल त्यावेळी निश्चितपणे त्यांचा विचार त्या ठिकाणी होईल।
The beauty or limitations of coalition politics, we're going to get to that later, but for now the spotlight is on the stunning Rashtrapati Bhavan, and joining me from there is our news director Rahul Kanwal. Rahul, over to you. Rahul, can you hear us? Over to you, Rahul, coming in from the Rashtrapati Bhavan.
So we're live currently from the forecourt of the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Dignitaries who've been invited to the swearing in have started one by one. And I want to show you the different people getting into position for the swearing in ceremony. We've just been told that this is the 5th time that the swearing in is taking place inside the forecourts of the Rashtrapati Bhavan. What we've seen so far from the list that has been put out is largely a message of continuity being communicated to Mr. Obama within the NCP. We spoke to some BJP about a matter within the NCP for them to deal with. There's nothing that the BJP has to say about it. We made an offer to Praful Patel to come on board as Minister of State. They have won Lok Sabha MP, but they said that they had their internal differences. They wanted him to be a minister, and therefore he couldn't get adjusted this time around. The message being sent is they would look at that candidature at some point in time in the future. At least that's the messaging that's being sent from the BJP leaders. It started arriving here at the Rashtrapati Bhavan for this webinar.
All right, so 7:15 is when the Prime Minister-designate Narendra Modi would be taking oath. Viewers, this would be the 7th time, because 3rd time as Prime Minister of India, and he's already taken oath 4 times as the Chief Minister of Gujarat. But right after that, and I'll cut across back to Rahul. Rahul, right after the oath taking, at least there will be a press note where we'll be given an understanding how many of these leaders have made it to a cabinet berth, how many with independent charge, and how many as MOS.
You know, the big topic of conversation here at the Rashtrapati Bhavan is about the change dynamics and the manner of this new government function. From sources close to the Prime Minister, what we are picking up is that it tends to continue with the same speed and energy. Naturally, the approach will have to be slightly different because it will require to consult with allies before critical decisions are taken. But as far as his legislative agenda is concerned, they intend to push hard on the plan that's been made for the next 125 days. That's something that's being said again. Different officials work very closely with the Prime Minister. The other message is that don't expect the allies, especially the BJP at the moment, to be too troublesome. That much is being made of the fact that you have the TDP, you have the JDU and the Eknath Shiv Sena to deal with. They're saying these are parties that there's a good affinity and they hope to be able to move forward with the agenda. The ideological agenda that the BJP may have, that might have an impact because parties like the TDP want to push ahead with him as a is already part of the Andhra Pradesh government's promises. That's not something that they want to do away with. But outside of those ideological points, as far as the legislative agenda is concerned, with the Prime Minister indicating very firmly that the Prime Minister is determined to prove that this reduction in his seats, he can give as good, if not better governance. That's at least the very message that they're seeking to put out.
You know, Rahul, one word that we're hearing a lot, and the phrase is continuity. But under the current circumstances, news already coming in that JP Nadda would be swearing in as one of the Council of Modi's ministers. His term as president ends by the end of month. Then it also leaves in the realm of speculation who's going to be the BJP party president. Is it going to be, you know, one of the top four, which the Prime Minister already had?
I don't hear you very well. So, because there's some commentary taking place at the back, I don't have any earpiece. Just bear with me with the travails of live reportage with which you're very familiar. I can, though, give you a sense of what's happening here at the Rashtrapati Bhavan at this moment. I don't think any other network is here and able to do this just at this moment. And so that's quite useful for our viewers to get a sense of the preparations that are currently underway. I see a lot of officials who work very closely with Prime Minister Modi, especially on the economic sphere. Officials like Vivek Deproy, officials like Sanjeev Sanyal, all of them have come in and have taken their positions. Now remember, both the Janata Dal United and the TDP have not been very opposed to economic reform. And so that's not something that they've had opposition to. And therefore, the Prime Minister hopes and his team hopes that the reform agenda of this government can continue. It may not be as slam bang as it used to be in the past, but directionally, they hope that they can continue with that kind of a legislative agenda.
You know, Rahul, also a lot of international leaders as well, if you can hear us, today will be present at the Rashtrapati Bhavan, witnessing.
Okay, so right above us, there you see on your screen right now, preparations going on for all the ministers to be seated. So you can see that on your screen right now. That's where all the ministers will be seated in a short while from now. I see all the officials from the Prime Minister's office. A lot of the governors have started coming in, senior bureaucrats have started coming in, and they're taking their position here at the forecourt of the Rashtrapati Bhavan. The good thing, the merciful thing is, it's not that hard. You know, I would have imagined that would be terribly, terribly hard because we're in the middle of June and the gods are being kind. Here they've got these wristbands. So I show you these wristbands. They have these wristbands. Wristbands are quite useful. And that apart, just the last couple of days, it hasn't been so hot. May, it's supposed to be one of the hottest months in 36 years. That's the story I was reading. But all that aside, right now, it's not that hot in the forecourt of the Rashtrapati Bhavan, and that's a big relief for all those who've shown up here for the third swearing in of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who's incidentally never lost an election, but in the circumstances that have been presented by the Indian voter, now has to deal with the reality of a reduced mandate.
You know, the dichotomy, Rahul, is it was one of the hottest, or rather the hottest election ever, both in terms of temperature as well as political temperature. And suddenly it's cooled down when the oath taking is taking place today. Interesting there. But we're going to cut back to Rahul Kanwal, our news director, who's getting you these visuals, the only channel to do so from the Rashtrapati Bhavan. World leaders in attendance. We're going to have a lot of our own neighbors coming in, top leaders of Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Maldives, Bhutan, Nepal, Mauritius, Seychelles, expected to attend the swearing-in ceremony of the Prime Minister-designate. All of that, trust us to get you the latest. Do stay with us. Eknath Shinde, Shiv Sena. It's an ego battle there because Eknath Shinde has been able, to get for itself one cabinet minister's berth, but in that sense, Eknath Shinde has also gotten a lot more MPs on board for the Bharatiya Janata Party and the NDA. Listen in to other political reactions. Reactions.
पूरे देश को पता है प्रफुल्ल पटेल साहब, उन्होंने कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर के नाते बहुत दफ़ा सेंट्रल में काम किया है और कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर होते हुए फिर इंडिपेंडेंट चार्ज लेना हमें ठीक नहीं लगा। इसीलिए हमने बताया कि हम रुकने के लिए कुछ दिन के लिए तैयार है, लेकिन हमें कैबिनेट मिनिस्टरशिप चाहिए। तो ये सुनने के बाद वो बोले ठीक है, और फिर उन्होंने जो ऑफ़र की थी इंडिपेंडेंट चार्ज की, वो हमने नकार दी।
बात सही है कि हमको राज्य मंत्री स्वतंत्र प्रभार के बारे में सूचना मिली, लेकिन मैं स्वयं भारत सरकार का कैबिनेट मंत्री पहले रह चुका हूं और इसलिए हमने उनको यही कहा कि भाई देखिए, ये आपने जो ऑफ़र दी है, हमें खुशी है कि आपने हमको एक सूचना भेजी, लेकिन मेरे लिए थोड़ा ये कठिन है कि हम ये पोस्ट को हम पूर्वी में मैं कैबिनेट मंत्री रहे कारण मैं नहीं स्वीकार कर सकता। इसमें कोई ऐसा मतभेद नहीं है, कोई मतलब जो भी कोई अटकलें लगाई जा रही, ऐसी कोई भी बात नहीं है। सब कुशल है, सब ठीक है।
राज्य मंत्री स्वतंत्र प्रभार अशा प्रकारे ही जागा त्यांना देण्यात आली होती, परंतु त्यांचा आग्रह असा होता की आमच्याकडनं श्री प्रफुल्ल पटेल यांचं नाव फायनल आहे आणि ते आधी मंत्री राहिलेले आहेत, त्यामुळे त्यांना आम्हाला राज्यमंत्री स्वतंत्र प्रभार हे करता येणार नाही। मात्र आपल्याला देखील ही कल्पना आहे की जेव्हा अलायन्सचं युतीचं सरकार असतं त्यावेळी काही निकष तयार करावे लागतात, कारण अनेक पक्ष सोबत असतात, त्यामुळे एका पक्षाकरता तो निकष मोडता येत नाही। पण मला विश्वास आहे की भविष्यामध्ये जेव्हाही एक्सपान्शन होईल त्यावेळी निश्चितपणे त्यांचा विचार त्या ठिकाणी होईल।
Beauty or limitations of coalition politics, we're going to get to that later, but for now the spotlight is on the stunning Rashtrapati Bhavan, and joining me from there is our news director Rahul Kanwal. Rahul, over to you. Rahul, can you hear us? Over to you, Rahul, coming in from the Rashtrapati Bhavan.
So we're live currently from the forecourt of the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Dignitaries who've been invited to the swearing in have started one by one. And I want to show you the different people getting into position for the swearing-in ceremony. We've just been told that this is the fifth time that the swearing-in is taking place inside the forecourts of the Rashtrapati Bhavan. What we've seen so far from the list that we put out is largely a message of continuity being communicated to Dr. Rama within the NCP. We spoke to some people about a matter within the NCP for them to deal with. There's nothing that the BJP has to say about it. We made an offer to Praful Patel to come on board as Minister of State. They have won Lok Sabha MP, but they said that they had their internal differences. They wanted him to be a minister, and therefore he couldn't get.
Abhijit, पहुंच गया। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी का काफिला राजघाट पहुंच चुका है। हम आपको सीधे तस्वीरें
तो ये तस्वीर हम आपको दिखा रहे हैं। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी का जो काफिला है सामने आपको दिखाई दे रहा है। राजघाट प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी का ये जो काफिला है वो पहुंच रहा है, और ये काफिले की तमाम जो गाड़ियां हैं वो आप देख रहे हैं। अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी को नमन करने के लिए पहुंचेंगे प्रधानमंत्री मोदी, लेकिन उससे पहले महात्मा गांधी को नमन करने के लिए, उनको श्रद्धांजलि देने के लिए नरेंद्र मोदी पहुंच गए हैं और तस्वीरें हम आपको दिखा रहे हैं। तो ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण पल है इस वक्त, क्योंकि आपको बता बता दें कि नरेंद्र मोदी तीसरी बार आज प्रधानमंत्री पद की शपथ लेने वाले हैं। और इसके अलावा आपको ये तस्वीर जो हम आपको दिखा रहे हैं, देखिए एक बार आप काफिले की तस्वीर संतोष जी लगातार आपको दिखा रहे हैं। राजघाट पहुंच चुका है पीएम का काफिला। यहाँ पर पहले महात्मा गांधी को वो नमन करेंगे और उसके बाद सदैव अटल पहुंचेंगे, जो कि अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी का समाधि स्थल है, वहां पहुंचेंगे, उनका आशीर्वाद लेंगे। और ये देखिए प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी, और ये सीधी तस्वीर हम आपको दिखा रहे हैं, प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी की तस्वीर आप देख सकते हैं, उनका जो काफिला है यहाँ पर। और अंदर दाखिल होते हुए प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जो पहले महात्मा गांधी का आशीर्वाद लेंगे। और 2014 में भी इसी तरीके से जब वो पहली बार प्रधानमंत्री बने थे, उस दिन भी सुबह सुबह जाकर उन्होंने अपने दिन की शुरुआत पहले महात्मा गांधी को नमन कर, और उसके बाद उस वक्त अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जो कृष्ण मेनन मार्ग पर रहा करते थे, हालांकि स्वास्थ्य उनका ठीक नहीं चल रहा था, वहां पर जाकर प्रधानमंत्री मोदी ने उनका आशीर्वाद लिया था।
अभिजीत पहुंच गया।
प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी का काफिला राजघाट पहुंच चुका है। हम आपको सीधे तस्वीरें
तो ये तस्वीर हम आपको दिखा रहे हैं, प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी का जो काफिला है सामने आपको दिखाई दे रहा है। राजघाट प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी का ये जो काफिला है वो पहुंच रहा है और ये काफिले की तमाम जो गाड़ियां हैं वो आप देख रहे हैं। अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी को नमन करने के लिए पहुंचेंगे प्रधानमंत्री मोदी, लेकिन उससे पहले महात्मा गांधी को नमन करने के लिए, उनको श्रद्धांजलि देने के लिए नरेंद्र मोदी पहुंच गए हैं और तस्वीरें हम आपको दिखा रहे हैं। तो ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण पल है इस वक्त, क्योंकि आपको बता दें कि नरेंद्र मोदी तीसरी बार आज प्रधानमंत्री पद की शपथ लेने वाले हैं। और इसके अलावा आपको ये तस्वीर जो हम आपको दिखा रहे हैं, देखिए एक बार आप काफिले की तस्वीरें संतोष जी लगातार आपको दिखा रहे हैं। राजघाट पहुंच चुका है पीएम का काफिला। यहाँ पर पहले महात्मा गांधी को वो नमन करेंगे और उसके बाद सदैव अटल पहुंचेंगे, जो कि अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी का समाधि स्थल है, वहां पहुंचेंगे, उनका आशीर्वाद लेंगे। और ये देखिए प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी, और ये सीधी तस्वीर हम आपको दिखा रहे हैं, प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी की तस्वीर आप देख सकते हैं, उनका जो काफिला है यहाँ पर, और अंदर दाखिल होते हुए प्रधानमंत्री।
Who will get which department? Who will be shown the door? Join this exciting game and create your dream cabinet only on indiatoday.in.
And the big swearing-in ceremony is all set to begin. We're on our final countdown to a Super Sunday climax of the Modi 3.0 Sarkar. A hat-trick for Prime Minister Narendra Modi, being sworn in shortly for the third time consecutively, making him only the second Prime Minister since Nehru to achieve this political feat. Live images coming in from the Rashtrapati Bhavan forecourt, where the swearing-in ceremony will be kicking off shortly. Rahul Kanwal is live with us from the Rashtrapati Bhavan because we've been broadcasting from that venue. Rahul, the crowds have already gathered now. It looks like this is the final moments now before we get to see that big Council of Ministers.
Absolutely, Shiv. I see several of the ministers have started coming in. Jayant Chaudhary of the RLD just walked in. You know, it's the allies, Shiv, who are most delighted with the way this verdict has turned out. Because remember, the likes of, say, Chirag Paswan had 6 MPs the last time. Those 6 not quite as valuable as the 5 he has now. He's come down numerically, but gone up in terms of political significance quite a lot, because he now has a part in ensuring that any bill crosses the majority. So the biggest smiles, if you look at the smiles here, out of these allies, they may be very small, whether it's the Shindes of the world, whether it's the Jayant Chaudharys of the world, or the Chirag Paswans of the world, most definitely the likes of Chandrababu Naidu and Nitish Kumar, who now have very significant stakes in the way that this government runs. So right behind us, I see Ashok Chavan, the BJP's leader from Nanded, who lost. There was a lot of blowback against him in Nanded, people questioning again and again, why did you leave? He kept having to answer that question and realized during the campaign itself that he may not be winning this. So I'll show you some of the images that are happening. I see a lot of the industrialists walking in, grabbing a position. I see officials from the Prime Minister's office, and there behind us, you can see the preparations taking place on the dais for the cabinet to be sworn in. I see several of the ministers have already arrived. Behind me, Jitendra Maghi, the former chief minister of Bihar, he's already come and grabbed the position of the Hindustani Awami Morcha. I see Jayant Chaudhary is there as well from the RLD. So they're all set, very excited. And excited also because the dynamics will change. If you ask officials from within the government, those who work very closely with the Prime Minister, they say, no, nothing much will change. You see, we still have the same speed, same energy, same purpose. We will back on regardless. But the fact is, to be able to make any legislative agenda go through, they will now need the help of their allies. So that's a very changed dynamic. And a lot of those changes can be seen here, at least in the air, can be felt in the air, as it were, here at Rashtrapati Bhavan.
You know, Rahul, you've covered many swearing-ins. You've covered a lot of government formations in the past as well. Tell us, at a time like this, the people we have on our screens right now, Dr. S. Jaishankar and the others, the allies, the ministers, would they know what's going to happen with them? Would they know what portfolio they're getting? Or are they also in the dark at this moment?
You know, I remember, Shiv, a conversation I had with then Chief Minister Narendra Modi. This is about in 2012, about how he picks his team, you know, what kind of changes, what kind of things he keeps in mind while deciding who to promote, who to demote. And from what I recall of that conversation, he suggested he prefers continuity. He said, I don't like shuffling my deck. I don't like making people insecure. The more they know, the more they're certain. You know, I groom somebody in a particular role. He learns things over a period of time. Then to just shuffle him around is not optimal from my perspective. That's his broad philosophy. That being said, there are changes very naturally that are warranted now because you have to accommodate the JDU and the Telugu Desam party and give them important positions in government. Therefore, there are changes that will be required, but broadly, his effort is towards ensuring continuity in the way the cabinets are formed. Some of the ministers, when I spoke to, when I said, "Aapka badal raha hai," he said, they kind of pushed back, saying, "Aapko kya lagta hai? I'm going to continue." They seem to have been indicated that they will continue. It seems from the few conversations I've had with ministers who are part of this deck, who we know well, they've seemed to have suggested that they aren't changing. But that could just be a random sample of me speaking just to the few people who are continuing in their positions. And as we've seen with polls, we need to be a little careful about drawing big conclusions from limited samples. So, Jay.
Your final question before I let you go for the moment only, Rahul, is that, while the opposition has been, justifiably trying to, suggest cracks in this NDA coalition and instability, today's signaling, following that big NDA meeting in Parliament will be about continuity, stability, and no real problems beneath the surface at least.
If I had a conversation with a leader from the Telugu Desam and asked him the specific question, now just look at it from their point of view.
Yeah.
If, for example, they were part of an India alliance kind of coalition, there'll be 10 small parties vying for a share of power, and therefore whatever gets done, not done, then gets split 1 by 10, right? The moment you have a situation where there's a BJP as a big chunk, and you've got the TDP and the JDU as two major allies without whom things really can't get done, the dynamics change. The TDP pretty much can push through whatever important parts of their agenda, and so can the JDU. This works much more to their advantage. Remember, Chandrababu Naidu has been out of power for the last 2 terms. He's come back to power. He's desperate, much more than what happened in Central, to establish himself once again in Andhra Pradesh. He showed the Telugu there is some Babu way of functioning in the new state. He hasn't had an opportunity in the new state. So therefore, those are far more important for him to establish himself, show what he can do. And if he's part of a more mixed alliance, it's far more complicated than this, because you've got BJP plus 2. Dealing with those two is easier for the BJP, for those allies to deal with the government is easier than if there are 10 people trying to pull in 10 different directions.
Rahul, thanks for the moment. We'll keep coming back to you. Rahul Kamal reporting live from the Rashtrapati Bhavan venue. These are live pictures, viewer, from the swearing-in ceremony. That's the forecourt of the Rashtrapati Bhavan, just as you climb the Raisina Hill from Vijay Chowk in front of Parliament. This is what you get. It's the large courtyard, the forecourt, right in front of the President's house, and that's where all these seats have been laid out for the dignitaries, the guests, a large number of journalists who are there to attend the swearing-in ceremony as well, to be a part of what is, in effect, political history. Now, remember, it's been a mandate that the BJP may not have been completely happy with, but this is, after all, the BJP-led government that is being sworn in, and therefore nobody can take that away from them. Former Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman in those pictures. She was there in that earlier meeting with the Prime Minister as well. There she is making her way, Ashwini Vaishnav. The pictures, remember that journalists gathered at the Rashtrapati Bhavan right now will be looking very closely at any body language that can betray even a slight hint of what the fate of all these big netas is going to be. I'm joined also, to analyze some of these pictures, to make sense of some of these pictures now by T.S. Sudhir, political analyst. He's been writing cracker columns for India Today, analyzing the election result, especially from the perspective of the South. Rashid Kidwai is a well-known author and political analyst. Rahul Verma, fellow Center for Policy Research and a very well-respected analyst in himself. Thanks very much, gentlemen, for being with me on this big day, to look at all these things. Rashid Bhai, starting with you, you have attended swearing-in ceremonies in the past, I'm sure. What would journalists be looking for right now? At a time when you have a sense of how many people are going to be sworn in, but nobody has any sense of what they are getting, what berths are being handed out, etc. What would journalists be looking out for right now, Rashid?
Thank you, Shiv. I think it's portfolios, because portfolios are the next important thing. We have a kind of advanced list, because the Prime Minister had invited the soon-to-be ministers, so we have an idea about who's in. Now the point of interest is who's getting what, and then there comes that big four: home, defense, finance, external affairs. Remember, there has been some kind of reports of rural distress, and therefore that resulting in Mr. Modi not getting a kind of comprehensive mandate in the sense that BJP not crossing 300 mark or 270, 200 zone? Will it be, some kind of portfolio shift in the finance ministry or not? Or there is going to be continuity that Rahul Kamal was talking about? But portfolios are the biggest thing. Well, we would look for a clue, officials, political leaders, anybody who's in the know of things or has a thing or two. And in this case, allies, the alliance partner leaders, if they have been, told that, you're going to get this one cabinet rank and one MOS, and this would be the likely portfolio. So I think these are the things. Swearing in ceremony is great to get, leads and get some kind of head start and have some kind of news break.
And that's what they're going to be looking for. Ravi Kishan, the Gorakhpur MP, they're wearing sunglasses. The sun is still up. It'll be setting very shortly behind the beautiful silhouette of the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Ministers, senior dignitaries still making their way into the Rashtrapati Bhavan right now. Journalists all gathered there looking very closely for any possible hint into what those portfolios could really be. Rahul Verma, if I could come to you, journalists generally under the previous two Modi Sarkars, there was very little that actually came out until the announcements were actually made. This time there are a few external levers owing to the coalition nature of this government, where leaks, as it were, could actually happen. Do you see that happening? Do you see any surprises this time? I mean, it's only a few minutes before most people will finally come to know. But do you see any surprises this time, Rahul?
I don't have that kind of linkage to understand where leaks come from and whether those leaks are important or not. I'm a political scientist, so I want to see things in medium to long-term perspective. To me, I don't think we should expect any big changes in the way government functions till the assembly elections are held. I think, I wouldn't rather focus on what body languages people are using and whether someone is going out or not. I think assembly elections results in Maharashtra, in Haryana and Jharkhand, in all these three states, BJP had setbacks and they would try to recover during the assembly elections. If they continue to face that setback, then the balance of power will keep shifting towards the allies vis-a-vis BJP. Right? And those balance of power will determine how much BJP is going to be accommodative of its allies and how much allies can exert pressure on them. See, I was saying this earlier that while inclusion of certain people in the cabinet, and as Rashid Bhai mentioned, which portfolio you get now would be an indication of accommodation, I think people who are going to be dropped, parties that are not going to be given enough representation as they were hoping for. That's also a signal which BJP and Prime Minister would try to send, that I am going to keep these things in mind while thinking about the cabinet. So inclusion is one way of signal. Even exclusion is another way of signal, which is that if you haven't performed, if your party hasn't done well in a state, and if in Prime Minister or BJP's wisdom, they don't think that in next 3 to 6 months, you are that crucial ally, then you are also going to be marginalized at the cost of those who are going to be considered more crucial for the stability of this government.
Very important point. The BJP right off the bat, right at the outset, these initial hours of flux, perhaps setting the rules of engagement for the future of the Modi 3.0 Sarkar. Hardeep Singh Puri, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, many see him as a hero of this election, a person who was sidelined after the Madhya Pradesh election, but someone who's gone on to deliver the entire state and winning himself with a record margin. Mansukh Mandavia and other ministers have also arrived. Giriraj Singh, Pramod Krishnam, other leaders also arriving there. Here you've got Shivraj Singh Chauhan, the former Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister. A lot of speculation over what's going to happen with Shivraj Singh Chauhan. The man you see on your screen there in the orange jacket, is he going to be a cabinet minister? Does he have a bigger role to play in something else? Could he be even possibly, a minister in the cabinet committee on security list? We don't know just yet. All of that is currently in suspense, and we're holding off from speculating on those things. Dr. Jitendra Singh, Member of Parliament, Jitin Prasada, the new MP from Pilibhit, is also there in those pictures. And we're going to continue to stay live on those pictures because all of those people, many of them are going to be ministers in the new Modi 3.0 Council of Ministers. We'll get to know those names in just a bit. Jitin Prasada there. T.S. Sudhir is also with us. Sudhir, Rahul was talking to us about, the conversations that are happening now with allies, conversations that are, much more structured now. They're not just naam ke vaste conversations. The TDP, we are told, has been offered a cabinet berth and an MOS position, which they are not happy with. They had a larger list, apparently, both quantitatively and qualitatively. What are you hearing, about that particular negotiation, Sudhir?
Well, in 2014, Shiv, the TDP had similarly a cabinet rank in Ashok Gajpati Raju, Civil Aviation Minister, and an MOS for Vice Chaudhary. So pretty much the quota remains the same. Now, you would argue that obviously now the TDP is a much more important ally. It controls the levers of power because without it, it would be a bit of a problem for the NDA. But the sense that I'm getting from the Telugu Desam is that they don't want to rush in demanding more ministries at this point in time. Their focus remains to get much more of financial goodies from the center for Andhra Pradesh because they want to get into the path of reconstruction of Andhra Pradesh as soon as possible. The state capital, they don't have a state capital after 10 years of bifurcation. They have promised a large number of welfare schemes for which they need funds. The previous YSR government also used to always go to the center asking for help almost every month because that was the kind of situation as far as the exchequer was concerned. Chandrababu Naidu would like to improve that financial position. So that would remain much more of the focus rather than getting more ministries. And even in the choice of the MPs who have been chosen, Ram Mohan Naidu, of course, was a frontrunner, 3-time MP. He comes from a family which has always been loyal to the Telugu Desam. His father, Eram Naidu, was a minister for rural development in the days of the United Front government. The second choice of P. Chandrasekhar has been a bit of a surprise. The wealthiest candidate, the wealthiest MP with assets over 5,400 crore rupees, a first-time MP from Guntur. So in that sense, a bit of a surprise because there were many other claimants for the second post as far as the Telugu Desam is concerned. But right now, as I said, the TDP does not want to come across as an ally which is making too many demands, but they have been apparently promised when the second round of expansion takes place, that's when they would probably get a few more berths.
All right, we're returning to those live pictures from Rashtrapati Bhavan. More images, live images coming in of the netas, of the former ministers, many of whom are going to be sworn in into the new Modi 3.0 Council of Ministers as well. Shivraj Singh Chauhan, the new MP from Vidisha in Madhya Pradesh, seen as one of the big heroes of this election, is also there. All eyes on him and what's going to happen with him. Rahul Kamal continues to report from the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Rahul, take it away. Tell us what you're seeing. The crowds have completely built up now. It's ready for the swearing in. Quick question on Shivraj Singh Chauhan. If you look on social media, especially Rahul, everyone's wondering, Mama ji ko kya milne wala hai?
That's a very important question to ask, because look at what happened in Rajasthan, where the Congress won 11 seats. In comparison, in Madhya Pradesh, the BJP managed to pull the one seat of Chhindwara, which they didn't have, and very clearly in fighting in Rajasthan had a role to play in the manner in which the party was weak, and apart from the fact that the social coalition, the BJP in particular, shifting away from the BJP within a matter of a few months because we just won a handsome victory in the assembly elections in winter. So it shows you how quickly political ground can shift. And Shivraj Singh Chauhan has emerged as a massive hero within the strong firmament, for his historic mandate for the BJP in Madhya Pradesh. So despite all of that, he's kind of been politically shafted. And he worked hard. He kept his head down, he worked hard. He said that, I have to do my karma, I have to do my work, and God will be kind, which is the way it's really worked out. Because we speak to people in the RSS at the moment, there's huge admiration, respect for Shivraj Singh Chauhan, and I think even within the party, there's wide respect of he earned the quiet respect of people in the party who matter, because he kind of kept his head down, didn't go away from party discipline, and did really what was expected from him as a loyal soldier of the party. So he will most certainly get a plum portfolio. I see Pawan Kalyan there sit in the images behind us. We're also being told that the likes of Rajnath Singh and Nitin Gadkari will probably have a bigger role in this government. Not just in terms of the portfolios they get, because remember, defense is an important portfolio, transport is an important portfolio, but because of the nature of the previous political arrangement, there was a very limited role for the others to play. Now, the Prime Minister has already shown that in the first meeting of the NDA, being far more accommodative, far more adjusting. So therefore, if that continues even into governance, it will mean that there will be that much more for the other ministers to do as well.
Very interesting. Rahul, a lovely image just there of Pawan Kalyan and his wife. That, comment by the Prime Minister saying, "Ye Pawan nahi, ye Andhi hai," has become one of the most viral sound bites from a couple of days ago. But just as a quick word, Rahul, the swearing-in ceremony happens at 7:15. Do we have a sense of by when portfolios will become clear? When will that list be out, Rahul?
No, we want to keep speculation to the bare minimum, Shiv. Here's what we know. In the past, there have been occasions when the list came out the next morning. There have been occasions, as I see Devendra Fadnavis just walking in, there have been occasions where the list came out the next evening. And there have been occasions when the list came out soon after the cabinet portfolios where people took the oath of office. So they've had all three scenarios. From what we've gathered from the officials we've spoken to, they seem to suggest that these will be out soon. But that soon isn't defined, and therefore I think it's best to admit the limits of your knowledge and not claim that we know more than we actually do. But the fact is, like for example, I was speaking to one of the officials who was here, who works very closely with this government. And he said, look at the fact that early this morning, quite a few leaders started giving sound bites and comments that they got calls and that they were being sworn in. He said that is different, That people are speaking more, they'll be more free, they'll be more open, which frankly, for you and me, as journalists and for people who track Indian politics, that's not a bad thing. The more people talk, I know the Prime Minister said this morning that, talk as little as possible, don't talk extra, but the more people talk, the more open Indian democracy is, the more things stay quiet and quelled up, worse things are. So I say, hey, more power to democracy, more power to people talking, wanting to make their point heard. Let there be differences like we have in our democratic newsroom. Let a dozen different points of view bloom, and then let's all get together and take a decision. So I think, that's really fantastic for journalism. It's fantastic for democracy, and it really is a good thing. It's a good thing for India as a country. It requires some recalibration within the government, but that's something that they'll need to do.
The Shankaracharya in these images, wide number of invitees who've come in, apart from the ministers themselves, apart from the MPs themselves, who are going to be there, from the workers who worked on the new parliament, to transgender activists, to, people from different parts of the country who've been selected and invited for this ceremony, is very much a signature of how the Modi government has done things in the past as well, and they're continuing it now. Rahul, a final word before, before the final sort of countdown before the swearing-in begins, if I could quickly bring you in. Okay. I see Pawan Kalyan behind Rahul.
Kalyan with me. Mr. Kalyan, the Prime Minister's comments went viral. Pawan nahi Andhi hai. What did you make of that? Were you expecting this kind of a mandate, this level of victory? Because you seem to have completely demolished the Jagan army. So what are you most excited about? Are you becoming Deputy CM? You are going to. So you are interested in becoming Deputy CM? Definitely share power. You want him to be Deputy CM, ma'am? Do you track politics as well, or you don't track? You do? Do you understand Andhra politics? You speak Telugu? A little bit. Yeah, your husband's quite a star, not just on the screen, but off it as well. She's blushing and quite delighted with the way it's gone. Okay, so that was Pawan Kalyan speaking very briefly to India Today. and talking about how very clearly indicating he wants and hopes to be Deputy Chief Minister here.
It's incredible. I mean, Pawan Kalyan has had an outsized effect as far as the engagement and traction this election campaign has got. Compared to his performance in the last assembly election to the Janasena party, killing it in all the seats that they contested this time in the assembly election in Andhra Pradesh makes him a very, very important player. And the Prime Minister singling him out, saying Pawan nahi hai, Andhi hai at that NDA meeting. Very, very much in keeping with the kind of stature that Pawan Kalyan enjoys in his home state of Andhra Pradesh. We'll go back to Rahul in just a short while from now. The jammers may be in place, so we might find it a little difficult to get our reporters in, but we continue to get you these live pictures from inside the forecourt of the Rashtrapati Bhavan. There's a Rajkumar Hirani, Vikrant Massey, other actors and representatives from Bollywood. There on your screens, you just saw Vikrant Massey and Rajkumar Hirani there at the ceremony. So with every frame that you're seeing right now, viewer, and keep your eyes trained on what's happening, you will get a sense. Vasundhara Raje, former Chief Minister of Rajasthan, also someone seen to have been sidelined. Ajit Pawar, who held a press conference just a short while ago. There are some rumblings over what's happening, with the NCP. He's there as well. Each frame, each picture that comes in tells us different story, viewer. That's why I urge you not to look away, because every picture is going to show you someone new who's a stakeholder, someone who has something to either win or lose in the proceedings that kick off in just about half an hour from now. Polomi joins us live. There you have it, Rajkumar Hirani, Vikrant Massey, Ajit Pawar, all of them in one frame. Very, very interesting pictures coming in from Rashtrapati Bhavan. Polomi, it looks like invitations have been sent out 360 degrees. Bollywood stars, actors, directors, activists, writers, authors, apart from, of course, the usual warriors from the political battlefield, they're all there. They've answered those invitations and they've shown up today at the Rashtrapati Bhavan.
Well, I apologize for not hearing the question entirely because, because of the sound and the ambience over here, because of the thousands who've gathered here in the Rashtrapati Bhavan forecourt. As you can see, I'm in that forecourt area. All of the ministers who will be inducted into the Union Council of Ministers, who will be given, administer the oath of office and secrecy by President Rashtrapati Murmu, have started arriving. We've seen Sarbanan Sonowal, we've seen Ashwini Vaishnav, Hardeep Puri, as well as Jitin Prasada and others. And those who've not made the cut as well. V. Muralidharan, one of those part of the outgoing Union Council of Ministers, he's present over here as well. Those who have in the past been members of the Union Council of Ministers, not just the outgoing ones, in the past as well over the last 10 years with the Narendra Modi government. They're all present over here, and I'm going to try and, basically just get a glimpse of that. I apologize because of the sound over here that, I might not be entirely audible as well. We'll try and get some word in from those, of course, who are here. There are MPs coming in over here. I see RP Singh, who's of the BJP party as well. RP Singh, you're live right now here today. How big a moment is this?
This is history. This is historic. And then after 1962, this is being repeated. Prime Minister Modi ji will be Prime Minister for the third time, and he has promised country to make country Viksit Bharat. And we are all looking forward to his promise being fulfilled, his dream being fulfilled of Viksit Bharat.
When a coalition government works on this thing?
110%. I mean, it's the Prime Minister Modi who's leading our government, 110%. The government will perform very well and there will be no issues. It is just the opposition who is in this daydreaming process of thinking that, probably the government fall. Mark my words, the coalition of opposition will crash in the next 3 months.
You held that last question because you hail from the state of Punjab. Interesting that Ravi Singh Vidhu, who lost from Ludhiana, has been included in the
well,
for a Sikh, young Sikh face. Is that the reason?
Yeah, young Sikh face plus he hails from the community which is in majority in Punjab, and he has a very good clean track record. His family gave their life for fighting against terrorism. So there's a message for the complete Punjab.
Okay, Mr. Singh, I'll let you go. Thank you so much for speaking with Media Initiative. If that was audible, RP Singh, of course, saying that Ramit Singh Bittu's contribution, his family's contribution, of course, specifically to the state of Punjab, they've given their life and soul. He's the grandson of former Chief Minister late Vyas Singh, and that is why it would deeply...
Stay with me, Polomi. Akshay Kumar, actor, N. Biren Singh, the Chief Minister of Manipur, several other dignitaries, they've all lined up there. Our viewers need to bear with us so we can quickly decode in real time these pictures that are coming in live from the forecourt of the Rashtrapati Bhavan. All the big MPs and ministers are there, and in just about 45 minutes from now is when the swearing-in ceremony does begin. Now, the forecourt of the Rashtrapati Bhavan, right on top of Manoj Sinha, the Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir, also seen there, just arriving inside the forecourt. Vinod Tavde of the BJP welcoming him in. Tridib Bordoloi, former Chief Minister of Tripura, current MP, also winning by a huge margin, sitting right there up front. We'll have more data for you about their winning margins in just a bit. Manoj Sinha, Prahlad Joshi, the BJP MP from Hubli Dharwad, also making his entry right behind. And we'll have more for you. This is, of course, the BJP MP, one of the BJP MPs who had lost from Uttar Pradesh. The forecourt is full. The ceremonials are about to kick off, and everything is ready towards the inauguration. Manohar Lal Khattar, former Chief Minister of Haryana, current MP from Karnal, is also there. Remember, Haryana goes to the polls later this year, along with Maharashtra. It's a hot summer evening. Obviously, the swearing-in ceremony has been Pushkar Dhami, the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand, as well as
उत्तराखंड के मुख्यमंत्री पुष्कर सिंह धामी.
Someone needs to give me the...
स्वामी चिदानंद सरस्वती परमार्थ निकेतन से. और ये
been kept in the evening, viewer, because it's a scorching hot week here in the national capital. If it had been kept earlier in the day, it would have been pretty much unbearable. Even now, very, very warm. Mansukh Mandviya, Dr. S. Jaishankar having a word with each other. Both cabinet ministers expected to be part of the new Council of Ministers as well. But could there be a surprise in store for others? A general shape of the new Council of Ministers has already emerged, and like we've heard from our experts, it isn't likely that there will be any big jerks or jolts, but negotiations are still very much on. Until that first list of portfolios is released from the Rashtrapati Bhavan, either tonight, either tomorrow, or maybe a little later in the week, those negotiations will actually continue. Manohar Lal Khattar, Jyotiraditya Scindia, both MPs. Manohar Lal Khattar is a former Chief Minister of Haryana. His state goes to the elections this year. Amit Shah, former Home Minister, has also arrived, winning by a record margin from Gandhinagar in Gujarat. He's here as well, obviously, and will be in the Council of Ministers. Our rolling coverage will ensure, viewer, that you miss absolutely nothing. All of our cameras pointed in every direction. Home Minister Amit Shah is in. Okay, Polomi Saha continues to be with us. Polomi, I'm going to come to you in a moment. We've just seen Akshay Kumar, Amit Shah, Manoj Sinha and others walk in right now. Just about 45 minutes to go for the swearing-in ceremony to take place. It looks like, okay, Yogi Adityanath, the Chief Minister of UP, has just walked in as well. Let's just cruise over these pictures for a moment. Yogi Adityanath in a state where the BJP was perhaps chastened the most. He comes in However, he received a very telling pat on the back from the Prime Minister at the NDA meeting a couple of days ago in Parliament. There's been wide speculation about the dynamics of the centre-UP relationship as far as the BJP's performance is concerned. But here is Yogi Adityanath, the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, to attend the big swearing-in ceremony. All the senior ministers of the erstwhile Modi cabinet are of course there, all present in full force. All the MPs are there as well. Poulomi is with us. Poulomi, UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has walked in, as have Manohar Lal Khattar and all the others who've come in. The sense that you're getting, Poulomi, from Kiran Rijiju has also just walked in. The sense that you're getting, Poulomi, from your sources within the BJP about whether there are going to be any big surprises when the portfolio list comes out. Nitin Gadkari also just coming in. Poulomi, over to you.
Ministers, some of them who've not made it as well to the Council of Ministers. Sanjeev Bala, I can see he lost from the Muzaffarnagar seat in Uttar Pradesh. He's a president of Singh Shekhawat, who makes it back into the Union Council of Ministers, was just accepting a lot of congratulatory messages from individuals in the audience right now. And we see a lot of people and a lot of candidates who won the elections were introduced by the BJP for the first time around in the Lok Sabha electoral frame. We lost elections where everyone is for instance, Dr. Anshpal Ganguly, who fought from the very prestigious Jadavpur seat, taking on the TMC and the left from the TMC, Shani Ghosh won from that very interesting constituency of Kolkata and South 24 Parganas. He's a president of the also from across the spectrum. There are several guests of the Bharatiya Janata Party for president over here, and I can see, it's obviously a little distance away. You can see that the ministers who are being sworn right now are in fact seated at the moment. Nitin Gadkari, as well as Lalan Singh Ji Kishan. They're all taking their seats. Bhatti Sanjay, Nirmala Sitharaman has just arrived on the dais as well. Joel Moram from the state of Odisha, he's on the dais as well. Briefly, he was not a member of the Union Council. He's back in the Union Council. Giriraj Singh from Bihar, Vivek Singh back in the Union Council again. One again from the seat of Jammu. Dharmendra Pradhan contested the Lok Sabha election for the first time from Odisha. Sambalpur seat is back in the Union Council of Ministers as well. Jyotiraditya Scindia, again a Rajya Sabha MP who was asked to contest the Lok Sabha elections from the very seat that he lost from in the 2019 Lok Sabha elections. Guna, on a Congress ticket, has won this time round. He is seated as we speak at the moment. Several of those MOSs as well. Shripad Nayak are very likely to get MOS independent.
Just walking in, Poulomi, the sole MP of the BJP, the first ever MP of the BJP from Kerala, Suresh Gopi, who is a star in his own right, but now a superstar of sorts, giving the BJP its first ever seat in history in the state of Kerala, has just walked in. Well, he has an outsized presence, obviously a man with a very powerful personality anyway, but someone by virtue of his victory, in the face of the legacy UDF-LDF combo in Kerala, managing to wrest that one seat and land it for the BJP, making him a very, very important man today. Could he see power at the center? We'll have to wait and see. Here are images coming in from the dais on the pedestal at the forecourt. That was Dr. S. Jaishankar, Nirmala Sitharaman, Arjun Munda and others who are all assembled there. The Sabka Saath Council of Ministers for the first time. You also saw religious seers across the board have also been invited, as you can see. One by one, they're also entering at this point.
रामपुरवा बुल स्थित है, जो सम्राट अशोक के शासन काल में निर्मित एक स्तंभ का सबसे ऊपरी हिस्सा हुआ करता था।
उमा, अगर आप विस्तार की बात करें, ये वो इलाका है जिसे जब 1911 में नई दिल्ली की नींव रखी गई, ये तय किया गया, तो पहले तो
Sea of color there at the Rashtrapati Bhavan forecourt. Now, this is the image that most people are going to be looking at, viewer, very, very closely. Shivraj Singh Chauhan seated there right next to Nirmala Sitharaman, Dr. S. Jaishankar, Nitin Gadkari, Amit Shah. That's very important. Ripendra Misra, the man behind the construction of the Ram Mandir project, also arriving there. Former Principal Secretary to the Prime Minister on the forecourt of the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Okay, we're going to go across now to our guests once again as these live pictures continue to come in. On the right-hand side of your screen, viewer, you're looking at people who we know are going to be sworn in just about half an hour from now. Rashid Kidwai, I'd like to come to you quickly now. The stage is set for this big, this big swearing-in ceremony. For the last couple of days, since the dust has settled, the dust has not settled on the election result. Everyone is still exulting in one way or the other, especially the opposition. But the signal being sent out by, putting together such a large swearing-in ceremony today is also to kind of affirm perhaps stability and to send out a message that all is well. It is Modi 3.0 after all.
Yes, Shiv, and indeed, it is a kind of, this picture is a one of confidence, continuity, determination, etc. But what has happened today about within NCP and the NCP failure to be here, puts a bit of a, jarring note, and it's a kind of trailer or shape of things to come. So that is a real, so Mr. Modi, I am sure, is very deft at handling this coalition, politics and coalition dynamics. I hope that once the portfolios are distributed, the allies would react in a measured way and in acceptance.
I'm just coming back to you, Rashid Bhai. Apologize for interrupting you. Shah Rukh Khan, Mukesh Ambani have just walked in. I'll come back to you, Rashid. Shah Rukh Khan and Mukesh Ambani have just walked in. There they are, live pictures as they make their way in. Very, very interesting pictures across the board. The Ambani family, that's Anand Piramal, son-in-law of Mukesh Ambani, also seen in those pictures. Shah Rukh Khan there. Anand Ambani, recently engaged and back from his Mediterranean cruise to Italy and other countries, is also there. Anand Ambani visible in those pictures. Fresh from his luxury engagement cruise. People stopping the Ambanis to take some selfies with them. He is Asia's richest man. Mukesh Ambani, the father of Anand, is Asia's richest man. He's just arrived. Wouldn't be missing the swearing-in ceremony of Modi 3.0. So there he is. He arrived earlier today, of course, on his own aircraft. The Ambani family is there in full strength. Anand Piramal, Mukesh Ambani, Anant Ambani and others. We couldn't see most of them in those pictures. I'm sure we'll get those shots in just a moment. Yeah, there you go. Anant Ambani, Mukesh Ambani and other members of the family and their staff, all there at this big forecourt. This forecourt of the Rashtrapati Bhavan in so many ways is a huge leveler, viewer. And it's interesting to note that from Asia's richest man to the people who built with their own hands the new parliament building, they're all there at the Rashtrapati Bhavan forecourt to witness the swearing-in ceremony of Modi 3.0. And in just a few moments from now, the announcements will begin. The president will arrive at about 7:10 p.m. Okay, Gautam Adani also there in the frame. Gautam Adani is sitting right in front of Shah Rukh Khan in those pictures. We'll get back to those images in just a moment from now. I'm going to ask our producers to give us those pictures so we can put them on our screens of Shah Rukh Khan, Mukesh, Gautam Adani. Rajnath Singh, former defense minister, walking in now. The member of parliament from Lucknow is here. Senior member of the BJP and the erstwhile dispensation. Kangana Ranaut is here as well, not only winning as MP from Mandi, but also in the headlines for all the wrong reasons, thanks to an ugly incident at the Chandigarh airport. There she is after the BJP's full sweep of Himachal Pradesh. Kangana Ranaut has just walked in as well. All smiles, no signs of any discomfort over the incident that took place. Here's Kangana, the newly minted BJP MP from Mandi in Himachal Pradesh. Many Bollywood actors have shown up today. Akshay Kumar, Shah Rukh Khan, Raju Hirani, Vikrant Massey, many others have turned up. Chandrababu Naidu, the man of the moment, with India Today's Rajdeep Sardesai. India Today's Rajdeep Sardesai having a quick chat with the man of the moment, the NDA coalition's perhaps most important ally, Chandrababu Naidu, who will be sworn in on the morning of the 12th as Andhra's next chief minister. The big tsunami entry of Chandrababu Naidu back into the politics of Andhra Pradesh. Murli Manohar Joshi of the Mardarshak Mandal of the BJP also being welcomed into the BJP, into the forecourt of the Rashtrapati Bhavan. The guests and the dignitaries are still continuing to arrive. Nitish Kumar, Chief Minister of Bihar and the other key ally in this new NDA Sarkar also arriving. Bandaru Dattatreya seen behind him there from Telangana. Murli Manohar Joshi greeting some of the others as he walks in. Nitish Kumar also seen in those pictures right behind. So the guests are arriving. The power play has begun. The swearing-in ceremony will kick off very, very shortly. Rahul Kamal continues to be with us. Rahul, big spotlight on on the eye catchers. Of course, the ministers and the netas are all there, but many big eye catchers: Gautam Adani, Shah Rukh Khan, Mukesh Ambani, Anant Ambani, also fresh from his engagement cruise. They're all there, and the spotlight is on them too.
Oh, absolutely, Shiv. I just saw Rajnikant walk in. Before that, Kangana Ranaut walked in and she said, where do we sit? How do I go to some of these newbie MPs? Quite literally trying to find their feet in the Lathian's Darbar, as it were. Trying to find out where do they have to sit, where's their position in the pecking order. When she's come as a guest in the past, remember, the likes of Kangana Ranaut would have had a far more prominent position to sit at than where they get to sit right now. So those are subtle shifts in dynamics. So Rajnikant just walked in. I saw Anupam Kher go in as well. The top leaders of various parties are coming in one by one, and we've been able to capture that for our viewers. We see former President Ramnath Kovind just walk in. And apart from this, we see Manoj Tiwari, a lot of other people who are just walking in. Manoj bhai, kaise ho aap? Congratulations, aapki badi jeet pe. Nice to see you and wish you all the best. Thank you. So a lot of the top leaders walking in. It's interesting that Gautam Adani is out here at the forecourt of the Rashtrapati Bhavan. He was conspicuous by his absence during the Pran Pratishtha of the Ram Temple. But he's here. He is sitting next to Akshay Kumar Shiv, a short while before now. And it's really packing up. A lot of the ministers, they had a brief opportunity to get a word in with the likes of Home Minister Amit Shah and his family, who are all here. Jay, of course, most likely in New York for that big India-Pakistan match. But they're all getting in, taking their positions in a quiet sense of determination is what is thought to be conveyed. That, don't think that our chips are down, they're not. And that we hope to be able to continue in the same spirit as last time. That's essentially, Shiv, the kind of message that each of these people who we're speaking to is looking to convey.
You couldn't ask for bigger guests than this, Rahul. We've got two windows on our screen right now. On one hand, you've got Talaiva Rajnikant himself, known to be a very close friend of the Indian Prime Minister. Then you've got Shah Rukh Khan, Mukesh Ambani and his family there. The Prime Minister of Nepal has just walked in. The foreign dignitaries will be arriving in just a moment as well. And the point that Rahul Kamal just made about the signal radiating out from this ceremony being that the chips are most certainly not down. This is, after all, a Modi 3.0 Sarkar. This is, a firm mandate for the BJP. And that the BJP is forming the government and it will soon be back to business as usual. Remember, the monsoon session of Parliament comes up later, but for now, this is the government that continues in its third term. It's a coalition government, but it is a BJP-led government that continues. JP Nadda has just arrived. He is also to be to be inducted into the Council of Ministers. Remember, he is the BJP president. He has been a cabinet minister before this as well. So could this see the return of JP Nadda? The Prime Minister of Bhutan, they're seen getting out of his vehicle and arriving. The big neighborhood focus is the diplomatic flavor of this swearing-in ceremony, viewer. And that's the reason why you're seeing the leaders of Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Bhutan, Nepal, and other countries. Even the president of Maldives has arrived in India, a country with which India has had a bit of an ugly flare-up since last year. He's there as well. Rajnikant Talaiva, person who has never, hesitated to show his admiration and appreciation for the Prime Minister, has made it a point to be in Delhi at the Rashtrapati Bhavan for the swearing-in of Modi 3.0. The Prime Minister of Bhutan walking in there, and the other leaders. They will be making their way to Pride of Place right in the front for this big swearing-in ceremony. Diplomatic continuity in the neighborhood is something that the Prime Minister has professed to take very, very seriously, and that will, of course, be an agenda point as he continues in office. Kangana Ranaut has just walked in. Lots of stars at the Rashtrapati Bhavan forecourt for the swearing-in ceremony today, and we will, one by one, get you all those pictures. That's President Jagnath of Mauritius also walking in on the left-hand side of your screen. Extremely close relations between India and Mauritius going a step further this time as well. Poulomi continues to be live with us. Poulomi, only about 20 minutes left before the swearing-in ceremony, begins. We can see all the big dignitaries also walk in from the other countries. The diplomatic neighborhood muscle here to cheer on Modi 3.0. They've all just walked in, Poulomi. We can see Sheikh Hasina just arriving.
That's right. The new Pradhanmantri, Her Excellency Sheikh Hasina, विश्व में सबसे लंबे समय तक प्रधानमंत्री के पद पर सेवारत महिला प्रधानमंत्री हैं।
We can barely hear you, unfortunately. I'm going to have to cut you off for just a moment. We will try and fix that audio with you, Poulomi, and come back to you. I'm so sorry about that, but we will. I know you're trying from your end. We will try from this side as well because we want our viewers to hear you. That's Sheikh Hasina and her daughter, who always travels with her everywhere. She was the first. She's the Prime Minister of Bangladesh, of course, as you know, and she was the first to accept